Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Red Wilson Field in Yarmouth, Massachusetts. The Falmouth Commodores getting ready to take on the YD Red Sox. Cross-divisional action on this Sunday afternoon. Should have a good one.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I mean, these two teams for a second ago during batting practice, the rain was coming down on us here in YD, and ultimately the field crew did a nice job. Everything looks good to go. Probably a little slick out there, Zach, but nonetheless, the conditions for now are going to allow us to play some baseball.
We'll have to keep an eye on that rain, but for now, we're going to get it going, as you mentioned, Matt. It's time for the starting lineups for both sides. We'll start with the visiting Falmouth Commodores. Leading things off is the center fielder, John Spikerman. Travis Bazzana had the grand slam yesterday to put the Doors in front. He'll hit second and play second. Kyle DeBarge batting third over at the hot corner at third base. Cade Snell, the DH, and one of the recently named Cape League All-Stars for the summer, is in the cleanup spot for the Doors. Walker Yannick back in the lineup behind the plate. Luke Heyman stays in the starting nine. This time moves over to first base. He'll hit sixth. 7, 8, 9, you've got Gavin Keelan, Nathan Humphries, and Tab Tracy to round things out. They'll face Jackson Kent for YD, but Ryan McCarroll, the starter for the Doors.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good lineup, 1 through 9. A lot of righties in there. Probably the more balanced we've seen in some time. And you and I mentioned pregame, maybe you would see Luke Heyman in there because he's been swinging a good bat. You get both catchers who are really, really good right now in the lineup to some extent. That's what you see now with Heyman at first base. And when you have a lefty, you need your righty hitters to get in there, but also a lot of these righties for Falmouth, there aren't a whole lot of them, Zach, but they're hot right now. You need to get those guys in there in a matchup with a lefty like today.
And the lineup on the other side, looking at YD, starting things off is Enzo Apodaca out in left field. In his second appearance now for YD is Theo Hardy. He'll hit second, one of two switch hitters in this order for the Red Sox today. And then you've got the heart of this order, Hunter Hines, the three hitter, the designated hitter, 3-run homer the last time these two teams met at Red Wilson Field. He was outstanding and has been all summer long. Brady Day in the cleanup spot with Xander Darby following him. The center fielder, Paxton Kling, will come after that, hitting sixth. Dub Gleed in the seventh spot. Manny Garza behind the plate. And Casey Cook to round things out in right field.
Yeah, it's a tough order. I mean, this is a really good group, the best team in the East, although YD has been losers of 3 straight. So they're trying to get themselves figured out to this point. Just 4 runs over the last 3 games for this Red Sox team that struggled to put up runs, obviously. But when you take on a guy like Ryan McCarroll, runs don't come often. We saw that in his last outing.
We'll have to see what these two teams can do at Red Wilson Field, but we'll step aside for the national anthem. First pitch right around the corner, right here on the Commodores Radio Network. Back at Red Wilson Field, still a couple of minutes away from first pitch, but that gives us a chance to recap last night's game. The Doors getting back in the win column with a 10-6 victory over Chatham.
Yeah, and a lot of it obviously was done in the early part of the ball game. You got to look and see what you like better from this group yesterday. Not the cleanest game, I'd say, in terms of what we saw from the pitching staff. You had an interesting situation with Hunter Hodges walking the first three men that, struck out the first batter and then had three walks in a row. Presented an interesting situation for Garrett Coe there in the sixth inning, but the offense had all 10 runs through the fourth inning and then had to rely on the back end of the bullpen to kind of lock it down. And that's what Garrett Coe does, as well as Joey Ryan. Those two guys very well deserving in that All-Star game selection that we talked about a little bit earlier in the broadcast. We should probably run through the guys that got picked to play in Harwich on Saturday.
Yeah, you got 5 guys, 1 starter, and that starter is Travis Bazzana. He's going to start for the West All-Star team out in left field. And then the other 4 All-Stars, you're looking at a couple of other guys on that side of the ball. You mentioned Cade Snell. You've also got Gavin Keelan in there as an All-Star reserve. And then you're looking at Joey Ryan and Garrett Coe.
Yeah, no, the pitchers are very deserving of it. We talk about the strikeouts that this group leads the field in, no doubt about it, but I'm so impressed with Cade Snell. His swing has come around big time. We talked about that massive hitting streak. He's already up to now 12 games, and just his consistency from the left side. When you have a lefty on the mound, typically, like we said, you go heavy with the righties. Well, Snell's one of those lefties that if you decide to go more balanced with the right-handed hitters, you have to leave him in the lineup. No surprise, he's in there again today at the designated hitter side, and yesterday, look, 1 for 4. He had 2 runs coming in. Then Katuitt had a really, really good effort in his appearance and had 2 walks as well. He's working good at bats. That's the difference between these guys that really can slug the baseball, but they also work good at bats and take the walks when they happen and sometimes take base knocks every time they come.
Cade Snell has done plenty of that, reaching in every game this summer with the Doors. He and Bazzana both riding 10-plus game hit streaks into tonight's action and trying to keep that going. This is the first time we've seen Snell up in the cleanup spot this summer.
Yeah, I mean, I think a little bit has to do with that. Obviously, if Tyler McGregor has been there the whole season, since he's been here, he's going to get the day off today. But yeah, no, very, very good, deserving bat up there in that spot. We talked about, again, the top of the order with Travis Bazzana. I mean, he is just so exciting to watch there in the 2 spot. If John Spikerman can find a way to get aboard here early, you already present an interesting situation with the speed that the 2 of them have. Getting a base runner for Bazzana, who's now starting to slug the baseball a little bit. I mean, you've got it all in one in that bat in Bazzana. He hits for contact. He's going to beat you on the bases, and every now and then, he's already now hit 3 home runs. It's a team lead. He's going to hit one over the fence, and we saw it in the Grand Slam variety yesterday.
We'll see if he can get that going and keep the Doors bats moving along as we head into this one. Our umpires today, behind the plate, Joseph Labella. It's J.C. Fernandez down the first base line, and Jeffrey Mertzel down that third base line. Taking you through the defensive lineman for the Red Sox as well. Enzo Apodaca's out in left. Paxton Kling in center with Casey Cook out in right. Xander Darby at the hot corner with Theo Hardy at short. Brady Day at second. Dub Gleed over at first. And Manny Garza catching the balls and strikes from Jackson Kent on the mound out of Arizona.
Yeah, Kent's got good numbers. You mentioned the matchup that we saw not too long ago between the last time these 2 teams saw each other at the Gov. But in that outing, Kent got the loss in that one. 4 innings, no runs given, 3 hits, walked 4 batters, struggled a little bit there. And just like that, I mean, that's, again, he had the 6 strikeouts, made it tough on the hitters. And just like that, he's going to have another appearance today.
And we're about getting ready to go here. You mentioned the rain earlier, Matt. It's still in the forecast. We're going to see. But it has brought with it some strong winds as well, blowing hard out to left field and left center area. So these righties, you got to think from both sides, are going to have themselves a good shot.
But yeah, no, you mentioned it. This is a pitching matchup we're familiar with. Last time these 2 teams saw each other was the same arms on the mound. And, YD, last time we were here at Red Wilson, got off to an early start. You have to be able to provide that spark now, especially in a situation where we might not play more than 5 innings today. So you have to do what you can to be aggressive early.
Kent starts with a fastball at the knees at 4:45 to get us underway. Starting off strong against Spikerman. Steps in, the switch hitter from the right side today. Takes a changeup down to even things up.
Spike just trying to get him going a little bit again. Had a nice streak of 4 straight multi-hit efforts. Since then, 0 for 10 over the last 2.
Lefty from the windup, fastball roped into left field, a base hit. Past a diving Xander Darby at third, and John Spikerman on the board with a single.
Not a bad spot. Fastball kind of over the plate there, low and away, and Spike able to get the barrel ahead of it there and kind of rope one past a diving Darby over there at the hot corner. And I just said it. You know, he had a multi-hit effort in 4 consecutive there, just an interesting stretch over the last 2, but John gets right back to work, and you start aggressive. Now, Bazzana's got a base runner. He's hitting the ball real well, seeing it really, really well. Great situation set up already.
He's got a 3-step lead off of first. Bazzana takes fastball outside. It bounced away from Garza behind the plate, and Spikerman with a good dirt ball read moves up to second.
Yeah, that's a really, really good decision there by Spike to be aggressive, especially since a good catcher back there behind the plate in Manny Garza led Conference USA catchers this past season with 22 caught stealing. He's very, very defensively stout back there. He's going to make you pay. We didn't see him. This is his first appearance since coming over from school from Rice. He's a new add to the lineup, and it's a good aggressive start.
Bazzana squared, went after it, and came up empty. Bazzana asked if he pulled back and is informed that he did not by Joseph Labella. It's 1-1.
It's interesting on those two, trying to run with the ball there to see if you held back or not. Most of the time, not getting the call there.
One bounces up over the head of Garza on the breaking ball, and just like that, a pair of wild pitches, and the Doors in business with a go-ahead run just 90 feet away.
Yeah, that was thrown probably about 2 or 3 feet short of where it probably should have been with Garza receiving that breaking ball. It's funny, when catchers drop in the block situation like that, if it catches the plate, it's like a trampoline. I mean, you're already broken down. It's going to go way over your head. No chance to stop that ball. Spike has quickly moved 90 feet away.
The 2-1 to Bazzana. Hit on the ground, first base side, and foul ball. Gleed fielded it cleanly. He would have had Bazzana out at first, but it would have brought in a run. Instead, it's a 2-2 count.
That was pretty close there. What a kind of sharply there. Probably would have done the job because Gleed's playing relatively normal depth over there, but the ball kind of took him deep into the first base side.
2-2 count. Lefty-lefty matchup with Kenton Bazzana. Pitch hit on the ground, back up the middle. Day fields it at second. The throw just gets Bazzana, but an RBI ground out, and Falmouth in front early.
Well, you'll take that. We're only a couple of pitches into this ball game, Zach, and that's how you started off. Nice job by the Doors to bring in Spikerman. You don't waste any time. Productive out when there were no out in the inning. Now it kind of sets the table to present a chance for DeBarge to do similar stuff with a really good slugging bat and Cade Snell right behind him.
Kent back to the windup now with the bases clear. Goes over the head in the motion with the glove and delivers a fastball for a called strike. Catches the inside corner to DeBarge. Commodores' third baseman has been stout in the middle of that order all summer long. Takes a breaking ball, catches the zone. It's quickly 0-2.
Yeah, he's deserved it. Hitting just under 270 right now, but he's worked himself good spots. 14 RBIs, leads the team.
Lays off the breaking ball that skips to the fence right in front of us here on the first base side at Red Wilson Field.
Zach Garza's having some tough time keeping the ball in front of him there. There's been 2 that have gotten away from him here that I know they're wild pitches, but some have gotten away.
1-2 upstairs, jammed to second, snagged by Day for out number 2. Good bounce back there from Jackson Kent.
Yeah, it looked like that was the changeup there. Up and away, just extended himself there. Line out there to second. Pretty easy play for Brady Day for that second out.
Here comes Cade Snell. Another left-handed hitter in this order for Falmouth. He takes upstairs. Start off the at-bat, it's 1-0. YD in their home white uniforms. Red Sox across the chest. Falmouth in the road blacks with the maroon numbers. Breaking ball low, and Snell with a hitter's count 2-0. Sun peeking through the clouds here at Red Wilson Field. Wind still gusting out to left, 78 degrees on this Sunday afternoon. High breaking ball stays upstairs. It's 3-0 to Snell. Walker Yannick on deck. He's homered in each of his last 2 starts. Kent in the wind, the 3-0. Fastball right down the middle for a called strike. 3-1.
I mean, again, part of this hitting streak has been just reading good pitches and setting yourself up in good counts. You got one here.
3-1 misses outside, and Snell had to wait one extra pitch, but he works a 5-pitch walk and keeps the inning alive for Walker Yannick.
Yeah, this team in Falmouth, we talk about the good at bats. They don't walk a whole lot. Just 7th in the Cape, 121, now 122 on the free passes. Primarily because, yes, they're working good counts and the average is skyrocketed, but they've actually gotten pitches to hit in those spots. They've battled and worked situations to get pitches, but not to the point where they're given first base, consistently.
Walker Yannick's hot streak has him up to 288 in the average department this summer. And he takes inside, jumps out of the way of the changeup, bending in towards him a little bit from Kent. It's 1-0.
Yeah, Kent, real tough feel right now. Just not entirely feeling some of his pitches right now. Starting off with a changeup there, not really anywhere close.
Couple looks back to Snell at first. Fastball, sliced foul down that first base line, evens it up 1-1. Snell's an aggressive base runner over at first base. He'll be going on contact as well, a ball in the gap. He could try to score from first, although not too much room in the gaps. This is a small park here at Red Wilson Field. You see a lot of balls go out anytime there's a game here, but especially with the wind blowing out to left. Got to think at least one righty's going to get one up in the jet stream. 1-1. Yannick sends it into shallow right field where Brady Day heads back on it for out number 3, but Falmouth gets on the board. Thanks to John Spikerman's single, couple of wild pitches, and Bazana brings him home. 1-0, Doors in front, head to the bottom half from Red Wilson Field. Bottom of the first. On the road in Yarmouth, Falmouth with an early lead. It's 1-0 Doors as Ryan McCarroll takes the mound, and with more on the Commodore starter, we'll send it over to Destiny Sanchez.
Thanks, Zach. Ryan McCarroll out of Wheaton College has had one outing with the Doors so far. This outing was also against YD. He secured the win in 5 innings pitched. Last season at Wheaton, McCarroll had 10 wins with a 1.89 ERA. McCarroll is going against a familiar team with the Red Sox.
Thank you, Destiny. We'll see if that ends up being something that he can use to his advantage. A lot of time, that familiarity gives a slight advantage to the hitter, but sometimes it can help you to know how to attack the opponent as well.
No, absolutely. I think it's the flip of a coin. I mean, it's however you want to look at it. For McCarroll, maybe against certain guys, maybe you want to work a little bit differently. And what worked against some hitters in that first go around may be something that they studied up on. But I'll tell you what, Hunter Hines was not in the lineup during that game against Ryan McCarroll in his season debut. He is today. The front runner to win MVP here on the Cape, leads the league in home runs, right up there with RBIs. He's a tough out. He's right there in the heart of the order in the designated hitter role. And that's a matchup that I'm going to be anticipating because, look, the Doors got off to a tough start here against YD the last time we were at Red Wilson Field. Why? Hunter Hines had guys get on in front of him, and he had a 3-run shot into right off Carson Montgomery. You got to be careful against this group anytime 44 and white is in the lineup.
Well, first it'll be number 3 in white, Enzo Apodaca, stepping in. He'll bat from the left side against the righty in McCarroll. A lot of left-handed hitters in this lineup. 5 of them along with 2 switch hitters. So you're going to be seeing a lot of guys from that left side against the righty in McCarroll, who starts off Apodaca with a fastball down in the dirt. Fastball, slider, changeup. The changeup was outstanding in his last appearance. talked to him about that pitch, and he said he didn't really have it at school this year. He just found it before he came out here, and he uses it there to even up the count.
Yeah,
It's 1-1.
It's not a fast pitch. It just kind of sits there for a little bit and then tails off onto his arm side. Just a really, really good pitch to have.
Goes right back to it. Gets another swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Saw a ton of swings like that in the last meeting between these two teams. A lot of guys swinging over the pitch from McCarroll. Righty goes over his head in the windup. The 1-2. Leaks low and outside. Stayed with the changeup again. That's 3 straight. It's 2-2.
And it's okay to work that way, using that pitch to your advantage for many different efforts. To have a frozen strike 3, to have a swing and a miss over the top.
This one's a ground ball to second. Bazan on a backhand throw across his body in time to get Apodaca for out number 1.
It's so pretty. That's the All-Star right there, who won't be at second base during the All-Star game on Saturday. But that relatively hit sharply there. It was the changeup once again, 4 straight. Just rolled pretty smoothly on the ground. Not too many hops for Bazana, but you got speed there in Apodaca. Backhand play on the run to a different first base target today in Luke Heyman, and that's a good start.
Here is the switch-hitting Spartan out of San Jose State in Theo Hardy, who takes a swing and a miss on yet another changeup down, and he's ahead 0-1. We saw this last time with McCarroll as well. He didn't really work in the slider till the second time through the order against the Red Sox. This is a fastball chopped on the ground back up the middle. Keelan fields behind second base and fires over to Heyman at first for out number 2.
A couple of the Commodore All-Stars getting in on the ball game here early. Gavin Keelan won't be a starter, but he'll get into the ball game for sure at White House Field in a couple of days there. Pretty routine there, as you mentioned. Got on top of the fastball there, and this is a good spot. You don't want Hunter Hines to come up when there's guys on base. He's in there now. You won't lose giving up the solo shot, and I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but you don't want to help this guy out any more than he needs.
Starts him with a changeup that bounces in, and Hines lays off it. It's 1-0. Mississippi State Bulldog has been outstanding this summer. 9 homers, 30 runs batted in, 1-0, chopped foul. Evens it up.
Just a calming trend. Again, that's a changeup. That one got a little bit more plate than what we've seen, though, previously from Ryan McCarroll there. Probably not the guy you want to leave that pitch to, but good result there on his first efforts of seeing McCarroll for the first time this season.
1-1, fastball for a called strike. That's a good pitch on that outside edge to get to 1-2. Hunter Hines mashes fastballs. We'll see if he goes off speed now that he's ahead. The wind, the 1-2. Just misses the zone outside on the changeup. Evens it up.
That's a good pitch. Really, really good offering. Make him think about it.
Doors playing Hines to pull. DeBar's well off the line at third. 2-2 just inside with the fastball. McCarroll thought he might have caught that corner, but couldn't catch the edge. And it runs full to Hines, 3-2. McCarroll gets the sign from Yannick. The wind and the payoff pitch. Chopped foul. Went to the changeup, and Hines just got a piece up and stay alive.
Again, it starts as a strike, and then arm side tails off there and drops out of the zone. That pitch ends up off the plate. But for Hines, he's trying to stay with it because it looks like a strike.
Another 3-2, swing and a miss. Gets him swinging on the fastball. First strikeout for McCarroll, and he picks up right where he left off. 3 up, 3 down in the first. 1-0 Falmouth, headed to the second. Six, seven, 8 for Falmouth. Here in the top of the second, it's 1-0 Doors after the RBI groundout from Travis Bazana. Helped put Falmouth in front early, and Ryan McCarroll with another 1-2-3 frame, Matt.
Yeah, only needed 14 pitches to get through it there. Good to see the strikeout against the toughest bat in this lineup. Now you present a chance for your offense to go right back to work.
Now a pretty tough bat in the doors at the plate. And Luke Heyman, he swings through a breaking ball to start off the at-bat.
Yeah, partner, you were telling me, and I looked at it myself in batting practice a few moments later. He was hitting some baseballs into the trees, straight away center field.
He's got a lot of juice. Takes upstairs on the fastball to even it up 1-1. Florida Gator working from that right side, has that wide stance in the box. Bends the knees as he awaits the pitch. Broken bat, soft one on the infield. Darby fields it. Flip is picked out of the dirt by Dub Gleed for out number 1.
That's an expensive 5-3 there for Luke Heyman. The bat itself didn't look to come apart. We didn't see any firewood go all over the place, but you could hear by the sound of it, that one's sounding a little bit dead on contact. And the Bat Boy and Batgirl have it now, and it looks still intact, but certainly didn't sound like it.
It's got some splinters in there as well. Gavin Keelan takes inside. He had squared to bunt on the big bender, but pulled it back as he jumped out of the way. It's 1-0. Cape League All-Star has had himself a fun season, been here since opening night, and has found himself a nice little home at shortstop for the Doors. Ahead in the count now 2-0 as he takes the fastball low. Kent working from the windup, first base side of the rubber. Lefty goes into the motion, the 2-0. Curveball called strike at the knees as he gets himself back in the count, 2-1. Wind still picking up. Lefty-lefty matchup, the 2-1. Another breaking ball chopped over on the ground to first. Dub Gleed will take care of it himself for out number 2.
Just got on top of that one there. Routine ground ball out there at first base, and that's the purpose of those pitches down there and away, in this case, to the lefty, and Gavin Keelan just kind of rolls over the top of it. That's a good pitch selection from Jackson Kent. He's working a nice, smooth second inning here.
Here comes Nate Humphreys out of Dallas Baptist. Back in the lineup tonight. Got that wide, hunched over stance from the left side. Comes up empty on a first pitch. Fastball at 89. It's 0-1. Kent working quickly back into the motion. Fires in a slider. Misses outside. It's 1-1. Slider almost like a cutter from Kent. Big cut on a changeup. Humphreys swings through it. It's 1-2. Jackson Kent went 4 innings the last time these two teams met and didn't allow a run. He's already allowed one today against Falmouth, but he's settling himself in. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Punches him out on the fastball. Jackson Kent settles down. 1-2-3 on the mound in the top of the second. Ryan McCarroll trying to match it when we come back. Ryan McCarroll back to the bump in the bottom of the second. It's 1-0 Falmouth in front. Before we get to his second inning of work, though, Destiny Sanchez has a message from Cape Cod Healthcare.
Cape Cod Healthcare is proud to be the official healthcare provider of the Cape Cod Baseball League and shares a reminder that blood donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod. Help save the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/blood center. Cape Cod Healthcare, caring commitment community.
Thank you, Destiny. Middle of the order for YD. It's 4-5-6. Brady Day, Xander Darby, and Paxton Kling to greet McCarroll. Two left-hand hitters and then the righty and Kling. McCarroll fires a fastball low to start off Brady Day. Kansas State Wildcat working on Pretty solid summer, 243 average. McCarroll falls behind 2-0 as he misses inside with the changeup.
And good numbers for Day at school this year. Hit over 350. 460 slugger as well. No doubt he's in the cleanup role today.
And he's way ahead. It's 3-0.
Saw 3 walks from McCarroll in his debut outing last time, but didn't really ever fall behind like he has right now.
It's a 4-pitch walk to start off the inning, and YD has the tying run aboard. As Xander Darby digs in. One thing that McCarroll was pretty good at, though, in that outing was rolling a double play ball.
That he was. We saw a lot of those relatively up the middle, and cut one around the horn, I believe, with DeBarge turning the 5-4-3. But again, that's because of his changeup. He's a good ground ball pitcher who also used it for a strikeout. We saw the 6 he had in his debut.
There's the Gaucho out of UC Santa Barbara, Xander Darby, who takes a changeup low, and it's 1-0. McCarroll was 10-1 at Wheaton College this year. Definitely has winning stuff. Tall righty comes set. Gives a couple of looks over to Day at first. Delivers at the knees for a called strike. Yet another changeup, Matt.
It's so consistent. But again, I mean, if it's your best pitch, you can use it in a multitude of ways. First strikes behind in the count, swing and misses, all of them.
Check over to first, but Day back in standing up. Darby, big presence from that left-handed batter's box. Works from the back of it. Slightly open stance. Carroll comes set with the glove at the chin. Right leg kick, 1-1, misses low again. This time with the fastball, it's 2-1. When you miss, you want to miss low, and that's what McCarroll's done. You're less likely to get hurt with a miss, but he's got to be able to bring it up and find the zone. Day with a 3-step lead off of first, being held on by Heyman. 2-1. This time, misses just outside, and it's 3-1.
Well, this is what you got to be careful with. This YD offense, down in the basement in a lot of the offensive metrics, except for home runs. So they take advantage of the long ball over the fence. You can't help them out with these opportunities because...
Big swing on the 3-1 as McCarroll battles full.
More often than not, they're going to get their runs because of the home run. You got to kind of expect that when you see this team. So you don't want to help him out with getting them free runners, and this is a good job by McCarroll to bounce back and work his way back into this at-bat.
Delivers the 3-2. Runner goes. Pitch outside, ball 4. That was close. If it had caught the corner, it would have been 2 outs. Yannick delivered a dart to second, but instead it's back-to-back walks to lead off the inning, and YD threatening in the second.
And Gavin Keelan having some fun with Brady Day there on that throwdown. In plenty of time, obviously, and Keelan knowing that it was ball 4, kind of just stood his glove out there waiting for Day to step on the bag, and they were laughing about it still by the second base bag while Walker Yannick tries to calm down Ryan McCarroll.
Paxton Kling now up. Couple of righties here in Kling and then Dub Gleed before the switch hitter, and Manny Garza will follow him. Day's at second, Darby's at first. McCarroll trying to battle through and escape a jam in the second. 1-0 Falmouth in front here from Red Wilson Field. Called strike starts him off with an inside changeup, buckles the knees to get ahead.
That's such a good pitch, especially because it's not your traditional north-south changeup. It's got that slight movement with it too. Makes it tough to kind of, again, it's not like it just comes in and floats there. It has that run on McCarroll's right side.
Kling squares, gets it down the third base side. DeBarge charging. He'll throw to first in time to get Heyman. As he caught the ball, slapped the tag on him. The ball then came out of the glove, but they ruled it was on the transfer. So a successful sacrifice bunt. Moves 2 into scoring position for Dub Gleed, but now 1 away.
As you mentioned, everyone moves up, and could have been a scary situation there. When a throw pulls the fielder in on the baseline, you got a charging Paxton Kling there. You got to be real careful because, you know, a lot of contact there. They were laughing it off as Kling was jogging back to the dugout.
Now Dub Gleed digging in. First pitch runs in and hits him. McCarroll had a base open, but now he does not, as that fastball came in high and tight, and they're loaded with 1 away. for Manny Garza.
Yeah, just not what you want to have happen in a situation there. The walks and the hit by pitch, all of this without a ball really being put in play aside from the sacrifice there. This is not the situation we had seen from McCarroll earlier on, last start. He was very, very efficient
This
over
is
the course
something
of his
that
innings.
was similar to what's happened to the Doors the last 2 days. Had situations like this against Katuitt and Chatham. Starts off Garza with a changeup at the knees for a called strike. It's 0-1. Ground ball could get you out of this inning unscathed if you can turn a double play. Garza batting from the left side against the righty McCarroll. Nubs one up into the air. It did not hit the runner. They'll turn it around, and it's not in time. At first, it looked like it hit Xander Darby coming across. Jeffrey Merzel says no. They get the runner at second, but not Garza at first. And the RBI fielder's choice ties up the game.
Yeah, that was interesting. Kind of took a second for the ball to come down first off, and then Kyle DeBarge cut off Gavin Keelan. Not a bad play because his momentum's working towards the field of play with Keelan, who was actually going on the backhand. DeBarge coming at you.
First pitch swinging. Fly ball out to center field. Spikerman retires Casey Cook and leaves a pair on the base paths, but it's 1-1 here through 2 innings from YD. We're all even at 1 through 2 innings of play at Red Wilson Field. The Red Sox picking up a run on a fielder's choice, able to get one across without a hit in that second inning. And we're even at 1 apiece with 9-1-2 coming up for Falmouth to take on Jackson Kent.
Yeah, we talked about the mistakes there and the self-inflicted that we've seen over the past couple of games. The Doors have surrendered 22 runs over the last 2 games, Zach.
Tapped Tracy, squared to bunt, pulled back. Breaking ball drops below the zone. He starts ahead in the count 1-0.
You just can't allow the opponent to have extra opportunities to bring in runs in bunches.
Tracy squares again, pulls back again on a slider outside. And just like that, it's 2-0. Kent working from the wind, the 2-0. Fastball catches the zone on the outside edge, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, Trackman didn't like that one from Tabzu. Not a bad pitch to lay off. Just try and find one.
Squares again on the 2-1, lays off it as this fastball ran a little further outside. And it's another hitter's count, 3-1.
John Spikerman in the on-deck circle thought that was funny here. Gave us a look back here in the broadcast booth, our little setup here.
3-1, hit hard over to first, but snagged by Dub Gleed, who's right there waiting for out number 1.
Well, from the dugout, they were saying get on one and drive one. Well, that was driven on a line there. Comes in at 88 off the bat. Just a line out right there to Dub Gleed on the pull side. Tab was certainly on that baseball, but it is the first out.
Here comes John Spikerman. He roped a single on a fastball in the first inning. Left his bat at 100 miles an hour. He has been one of the best fastball hitters on the Cape this summer as he takes upstairs on the first pitch. It's a changeup. He was in that top 10 in the expected batting average versus fastballs list that they released earlier this week. Takes a called strike. This one, a slider, catches the inside corner. 1-1 count to the Oklahoma Sooner. A 1-1 ball game in the top of the third. Spikerman skies this one out to left. The wind's going to carry it. Apodaca on the charge, and he'll make the play for out number 2.
He makes the play, but his cap flies off in the process. The wind gustling a little bit here out towards left center helps the pull side of these right-handed hitters that Falmouth now has in the lineup. But fastball, a little bit inside there on Spike, just got jammed on it. But again, as you mentioned, the wind took that one a little bit further than we thought.
Here's Travis Bazzana. Had the RBI ground out in the first. Takes first pitch change up low. Riding an 11-game hit streak and a 16-game on-base streak into tonight's action. Kent stepping back on from the windup. Gets the sign from Garza as the wind picks up. Fires in a breaking ball that catches the outside edge. It's that slider cutter type look from Kent. Playing Bazzana to pull slightly, couple steps towards the right side of the infield with Bazzana up. He pulls this one to the right side, but pulls it foul. It's 1-2. Bazzana standing in from that left side. Bends the knees, widens the stance slightly with 2 strikes. The 1-2 from Kent. Fastball outside. Bazzana lays off to even it up. Sun still trying to peek through, but clouds definitely coming in on Red Wilson Field. The 2-2 to Bazzana. High and outside. He's battled all the way back. It's full 3-2.
Yeah, he was telling me in batting practice, those spots to mature in the at-bat is what he calls it, where you're making adjustments, reading what the pitcher's giving you there, helping you progress and improve in the at-bat.
3-2 down, and he works himself a walk. 2-out base runner keeps the inning alive for Falmouth. In the middle of the order coming up, it's Kyle DeBarge.
Well, the hit streak might have to wait to extend at least another at-bat, but the on-base streak does not. Finds a way to get on there, as you mentioned, behind in the count 0-2. To be fair, none of those really all that contestable. I mean, he just was able to take a couple of fastballs running off the plate from the lefty and Bazzana, and then that one breaking pitch spiked in the dirt, well ahead of the home plate area. So good to see Bazzana get on, and you present another chance for DeBarge.
Bazzana dancing at first. DeBarge takes the first pitch cutter inside. It's 1-0. He lined out to the second baseman, Brady Day, in his first AB against Jackson Kent. 1-0. Yellow light swing. A breaking ball diving in towards the back foot. It's 1-1.
Really, really good use of that backdoor breaking pitch. Well out in front. DeBarge kind of knew it right away, too.
Bazzana continuing to dance over at first. Elevates the fastball, and DeBarge comes up empty. It's 1-2.
Just well out in front of it there. Chased upstairs. You don't see that too often from Kyle DeBarge.
Bazzana bluffs the steal. DeBarge lines it out into center, and it drops just past Kling. He thought he had it on the line, and he just dropped it. And Bazzana moves up to third. I don't think he knew there were 2 outs. He might have scored had he ran from the beginning. And now they're on the corners for Cade Snell. We're going to have to see whether they rule that a hit or an error, because I don't know that it actually hit his glove in center field. They may rule that a hit.
No, I don't know. I really don't know. It looked like it hit his glove charging in. I think what I noticed was the wind picked up there, and it kind of knocked the ball down a little bit. Just kind of weird there in center from Kling. You don't see that too often from him. Kind of ate him up. Didn't expect it, I think, to just land the way and almost die the way the baseball did. That's really interesting.
No official ruling just yet. But either way, they're on the corners for the Doors with 2 away, and Cade Snell at the plate trying to keep it alive. They do rule it an error by the center fielder. So any runs that come across will be unearned in the inning against Jackson Kent's line, but they'll still count for the Doors, and they will take them if they can get him.
Absolutely. I mean, you're again in a spot with the unpredictable weather that we think could probably come in. You got to think of this almost as like a mini baseball game through 5 innings.
Kent with a look over to DeBarge at first. 1-0, catches the zone on the outer edge with that slider. It's 1-1 to Cade Snell. Designated hitter, worked a walk in the first against Kent. Trying to find himself yet another RBI on the summer. Takes outside. 2-1 count. 11 runs batted in for Snell. 357 hitter entering today. 20 for 56 on the campaign. Pizzana's at third, DeBarge at first. Left leg kick from Kent, the 2-1. Misses outside. It's a hitter's count, 3-1 to Cade Snell. Walker Yannick stands on deck. Catcher hoping he can get a shot at Jackson Kent here in the top of the third. Kent gets the sign from Garza behind the dish and rocks himself set at the belt. High leg kick, 3-1, swing and a miss. Snell out in front of the changeup, came up empty. Just like that, it's full at 3-2. DeBarge will be on the move from first. Snell trying to come through once again for this Falmouth squad in a big spot. Kent with a long look in, and now he'll come set. Lefty delivers the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Punches out Snell, went to the changeup again, and the Doors leave him standing on the corners in the top of the third. We head to the bottom half, all knotted up at 1 between Falmouth and YD on the Commodores Radio Network. Top of the order for YD to face Ryan McCarroll here in the bottom of the third, all tied at 1. Not much offense so far. The Red Sox able to get some runs across, or a run across, 2 walks, a hit batter, and then the fielder's choice that brought him in. Apodaca grounded out in his first at bat against McCarroll. Takes a called strike to start off this one. Left fielder in today's matchup out of Gonzaga. Hitting .288 on the summer. Pulls one foul, and McCarroll quickly back ahead 0-2. This is what we saw from him in the first inning. It's what we saw from him in the first matchup. And this is where you want Ryan McCarroll to be. Ahead in the count, in command, able to use any of those pitches he wants in this spot.
Yeah, it's the 3 that we've talked about, that he's got a good feel for all of them. And
0-2, fastball just high and tight. Makes it 1-2.
When you have an 0-2, you have the luxury of really going to any of them if you want to. No one really questioned the decision making, especially for how his pitches have looked today. The changeup looks as lively as it did last time.
1-2, ground ball to second. Bazana flips on to first, and a near identical put out as the last time that Apodaca stepped up and won away.
With like a fastball there, trying to paint the zone there inside of the lefty in Apodaca, and as you mentioned, just rolls one same spot. That one a little bit more firm. Came off the bat a little bit harder, but nonetheless, you have Bazzana there making a pretty normal play and finds that first out that you need right away.
Starts off Theo Hardy with a first pitch slider for a called strike, the first slider we've seen from him today.
Well, you mentioned it. He likes to go to it second time through, just show the hitters a different pitch.
Bounce this one off the foot of Hardy. And a second hit batter of the game to go with the 2 walks. And a 1-out base runner for YD.
Yeah, not a trend you want to see so far. You mentioned the 4 self-inflicted base runners allowed. The Doors yesterday walked 7 batters. They plunked 2 against Chatham in a game that, again, offensively, Falmouth had the much better game, but they still allowed the A's to stay in that ball game for way too long. That's been the trend we've seen from this pitching staff over the last few days.
And now with Hunter Hines up, you didn't want to give him base runners. Well, he's got one now. McCarroll starts ahead in the count, 0-1. Got a big swing and a miss on the changeup. Hardy stands at first base with a 3-step lead. Hines takes another changeup for a called strike, paints the outside corner at the knees, and once again, he's ahead 0-2.
Yeah, you're working away here, being smart with that pitch. It's going to get a lot of plate because it hangs up like that. But if you work it away from Hines, he can't beat you on the pull side.
Goes the fastball, but way upstairs. And it's a 1-2 count. They're playing Hines to pull. The bar's well off the bag down that third base line. Keelan just 2 steps to the left side of second base. 1-2, Hines with a high chopper over the head of Luke Heyman and out into right field for a base hit. Hardy heads in and cruises to third. They're on the corners with 1 away.
I think McCarroll was looking for the outside bottom corner there, and instead it just hung up a little bit on the outside, and that allows there to be a chopper there in that situation. If it's a little bit lower, I don't think that happens, but not a bad spot nonetheless. Just a tough play for Luke Heyman there to have to leap and try to make that play.
Well, and if Heyman's not holding on the base runner either, that's an easy out for him. But it bounces up over where he's at because he's playing in to hold on the runner. So now they're on the corners with 1 away. Brady Day takes outside. It's 1-0.
And that's just situational. I mean, whatever they're telling Heyman to do there, obviously a little bit of inexperience this summer playing first base, but not much you can do there because you're holding on the base runner.
Brady Day sends one back up the middle. Bazzana will touch the bag. Throw to first is in time. And just like that, McCarroll escapes the danger with a double play ball. We're through 3, tied at 1 between the Doors and the Red Sox. This is your home for Falmouth Commodores baseball. Top 4 from Red Wilson Field. Walker Yannick, Luke Heyman, and Gavin Keelan due up to take on Jackson Kent in a 1-1 ball game on this Sunday evening from Yarmouth, Massachusetts. Getting into the second half of the Cape League season. This is game 30 for Falmouth, a 14-13-2 record. Gives the Doors 30 points. Start off the summer. The first pitch is that cutter. Catches the inside part of the plate. To Walker Yannick, it's 0-1.
Zach, there was some chaos last night in the division, a couple of walk-off games that are of interest for Falmouth.
0-1 goes to the same pitch. This time it gets a little bit further inside and too much for Joseph Labella behind the plate. It evens it up. It's 1-1.
Wareham walked off Orleans, got themselves off the mat after a 5-game skid.
Fastball up, and Yannick's ahead in the count, 2-1.
Then you had the craziness with Hyannis and Bourne walking off the Braves. The Doors right now just 1 point back of Bourne there for third in this West Division.
And Bourne is off tonight, so the Doors could find themselves in third after tonight if they can win this game. 2-1, fastball low, and Yannick has himself a hitter's count, 3-1. Had a lot of pop in that bat. Hit a no-doubter in his last start against Katsuit. 3-1, misses inside, and Walker Yannick heads on down to first. A leadoff walk, and the Doors trying to get back in front. Not much better way you can start the inning than with a leadoff base runner.
Yeah, third walk already surrendered by Jackson Kent. Gave up the base hit to lead off the ball game, but this is the first time since that the Doors have had the leadoff man reach. Got to see what you can create here with Luke Heyman coming in.
That leadoff man came around to score for Falmouth. Trying to recreate that here as Luke Heyman steps up, swings at the first pitch, and chops it towards the YD dugout. 0-1. Kent working from the stretch with Yannick over at first. He swiped a few bags Sam Houston State. Already a couple stolen bags this summer as well. 0-1, called strike. Catches the outside edge, and it's quickly 0-2 to Heyman. Yannick with a 3-step lead over at first, being held on by Dub Gleed. Kent comes set at the belt. And we'll check on Yannick, who's back in standing up.
He said it best. Stole a couple of bases already this summer. Yannick at school took 10 bases there. He'll do it if he has to, and some catchers just, you don't really see that from them.
0-2 to Heyman. Breaking ball, he just got a piece of it. And stays alive.
Way to battle there. That one's a good spot. In the middle, but down. Starts as a strike. Got to have those right-handed hitters as it comes in on them. Stay with that pitch. Got to locate it well, too, because you're going to catch a barrel right in the swing path if you don't.
Heyman just trying to put the ball in play here with 2 strikes. Has a wide stance, angles that bat over the right shoulder. Kent lifts the leg. The 0-2. Fastball outside. Heyman continues to keep himself alive. It's 1-2.
And just barely off the plate there. That's a really, really good discipline take from Luke Heyman. Might provide yourself with a chance to probably see that breaking pitch again.
Another check to Yannick. He's back in, standing up once again. Kent working himself set. Big lefty. 2 looks over to Yannick. Yannick takes off. 1-2 is fouled off. Heyman just got a piece of it, but it popped out of the glove of Garza. So Heyman survives to see another pitch, and Yannick will get some more cardio in and jog back to first.
I think Yannick, really good jump there. He certainly would have been there. Would have been pretty close. Garza on his throwdown after warm-ups this inning overshot it into the outfield. He's looked a little kind of shaky back there, and we see good chance to see if the Doors test him once again here.
Another 1-2. Popped straight up on the infield. Brady Day makes the play in front of second base for out number 1.
Well, that's that breaking pitch. Looked like it was just the slider in on the righty in Luke Heyman there. Got a really good amount of play. That's why Heyman was a little upset when he popped it up, but that's sometimes what the pitch is supposed to do. Gets you underneath it or swinging over the top. And that's what he did there. He got underneath that pitch and played in on the infield by Brady Day for the first out.
And here's Gavin Keelan. Grounded out to the first baseman, Dub Gleed, in his last AB. And he takes outside on that slider to start off this one. It's 1-0. Wind still gusting, but no rain just yet since batting practice. Kent now checks over on Yannick again. It's a 1-0 count to the Louisville Cardinal at the plate in Keelan. Another check on Yannick. Continuing to occupy some space in Jackson Kent's head. Takes a deep breath as he comes set this time. Now we'll deliver home. The 1-0 is low, and Keelan's ahead in the count, up 2-0. Playing Keelan pretty much straight up. Shortstop Theo Hardy is shaded up the middle, ever so slightly. The 2-0. Runner goes, and it's fouled back to the screen, so Yannick once again have to flip it around and make that jog back to first.
Yeah, 2-0 count. You're expecting something hot there. Easy draw up for the hit and run, but that time there it was not the fastball. It was what looked to be a slider in there away. And because of that, gets fouled off, and you got to do whatever you can up there in the box. Just get a piece of it so that Yannick doesn't get nubbed out there at second.
2-1. Misses outside with the changeup. And another hitter's count. It's 3-1 to Gavin Keelan. Falmouth trying to get back in front here in the top of the fourth. They scored one in the top of the first, gave up one in the bottom of the second. That's where we stand right now at one apiece. 3-1 upstairs, and Keelan works a walk. Second walk of the inning, fourth walk of the outing for Jackson Kent. And there's two aboard with one away for Nate Humphreys.
Well, a trend that's been biting the Commodores a little bit, now starting to be in their favor here in the zone, and that's just working walks and having the pitcher set up situations that you haven't entirely had to work for all that much. I mean, those are two walks in this inning, both on 3-1 counts, Zach. I mean, these Gavin Keelan there on the hit and run was told to swing. You know, that was the situation there, but other than that, nothing else has been all that close for these guys.
Nate Humphreys swinging on the first pitch, skies it into left center. Apodaca runs it down for out number 2.
That got underneath that one. The wind took it a little bit further than expected, blowing really hard out to left center. Had to wait for that one to come down, but Apodaca able to make that play. So it'll come down to Tab Tracy here in the fourth to try to move Yannick and Gavin Keelan, who now stand with those walks.
Tracy lined out over to first base and Dub Gleed in his last at-bat. He got ahead in the count there and got a really good pitch to hit. He just hit it right at a glove. Outfield playing deep. A base hit could score Walker Yannick from second. First pitch bounces in on the changeup. It's 1-0, especially with those runners going on contact with two away. Got to think that if Tracy's able to come through here, the Doors could find themselves right back in front.
Absolutely. No, I think that's certainly the sign here. And anything in the gap, Gavin Keelan's got speed. He could probably go first to home.
1-0 fastball, slicing foul. Just past the YD bullpen. Down the left field line, it's 1-1.
Fastball up and away there from Tab. Trying to just get something on it there. It's tough when the pitch comes in relatively hot. It's upper 80s right now from Jackson Kent. To try to get your head out in front of that one, it's tough to straighten that thing out when it's already starting away from you.
We've seen Kent up to 91 so far on the outing. He spins back and delivers a check to Walker Yannick, who's back in standing up without a tag from Theo Hardy, who's been holding him on. Slightly open stance from Tracy. Kent gives a couple looks back to Yannick. Now will deliver to the plate. Breaking ball, and Tracy comes up empty on it. Yannick was going to steal there, and then Kent looked back at him for a second, and Yannick almost slipped trying to get back to the bag, but Kent ended up delivering to the plate instead.
Well, I don't know if that was another design hit and run there, because that was not a very close change or curveball in the dirt, and not a pretty swing by Tab Tracy. Because Yannick started going, it could have been a mix of the two.
1-2 fastball popped up left field. Long run for Apodaca. He'll make the play in foul territory for out number 3. Back-to-back innings that the Doors leave a pair on the base paths. We head to the bottom of the fourth. One apiece between Falmouth and YD. Xander Darby leads things off for YD against Ryan McCarroll in the bottom of the fourth. Falmouth stranding a pair on the base paths in each of the last two frames, coming up with zeros since their one run in the top of the first. YD got runners on the corners with one away against McCarroll last inning, but a double play ball erased the threat and got him out of trouble. Starts off Darby with a changeup low. It's 1-0. Darby was one of back-to-back walks to lead off the second inning. This time he'll find himself a ground ball single into right. Leadoff man aboard for YD once again.
Yeah, not much to that one. It's just grounded and gets by Luke Heyman there. He's not playing to that spot because it's in the hole, the 4-3. But just chopped in. There's been a lot of soft contact here from YD, which is similar to how we saw the beginning of that ball game last time, Zach. Nothing through 4. It was a pitcher's duel up until we saw an inning come together. Falmouth had 3 in the bottom of the 5th.
Paxton Kling ropes it out to center, but right at John Spikerman. 99 off his bat, but it finds a glove, and it's an out all the same.
That works. You talk about being on a pitch right there. Fastball away there from Kling, and he's able to just get the head out and just line it right where it was and right back where it came. But Spike's got a lot of speed, and he didn't have to move a whole lot there for that first out.
Wonder if McCarroll's going to try and start mixing that slider back in. YD seems to be on that fastball right now. And he does go to the slider on the first pitch to Dub Gleed and gets Chopper back to the screen. It's 0-1. McCarroll looking for a ground ball. Gleed was hit by a pitch in the second. It was a fastball on the first pitch to him that rocked him in the shoulder. This one's a fastball. Keelan with a leaping grab at short for out number 2.
All-star players make all-star plays. That works. Gavin Keelan having a leap to make that effort and keep the ball in the infield, get the out. You're probably having Xander Darby hold up at second on that one because it's hit so sharply, but nonetheless, a couple of interesting situations here on some hard contact have been right at a couple of Commodores.
And a pinch hitter into the game now for YD to replace Manny Garza. It's Ryan Stafford. Righty-righty matchup now. First pitch misses high inside. It's 1-0. Stafford out of Cal Poly. Comes up empty on a slider up at the letters. It's 1-1. Two-step lead over at first. Heyman holding on Darby. Change up down and in, and it's 2-1. McCarroll right back to the rubber, waiting for Stafford to step back in the box. Now we'll get the sign from Yannick. Gives a look over to first before he comes set. Another look. The 2-1. Slider just a touch outside, and it's a hitter's count 3-1 to Stafford.
It's a really good pitch there, trying to work away there, try to just get one on the zone there. You don't want to give up anything in a 2-1 hitter situation, but now you got to find a way to find the zone. You don't want that base runner to move in a scoring position.
3-1, a called strike. Changeup catches the inside edge and runs it full.
It's a good pitch. You had Stafford step out of the box there for just a second. Wasn't expecting that one to be called in there. Got such a good feel for that changeup. Can put it anywhere he wants.
Darby will be on the move from first. The 3-2 sent back to the screen. Just missed that fastball. And another 3-2 upcoming. Deep breath on the rubber. Runner goes, payoff pitch, ground ball into the hole past a diving Gavin Keelan for a base hit out into left field. And the inning continues.
Yeah, that's that changeup. That's the one that was on the inside third that Stafford left there for a strike in the 3-1 count. Gets the same pitch, and this time made no mistake with it. He hits it sharply on a couple of hops after the diving reach of Gavin Keelan. That's a really good piece to now set up a situation where Xander Darby's just a base hit away from giving the Red Sox the lead.
Starts off Casey Cook with a fastball for a called strike. A lot of hard hit contact in this inning, but McCarroll trying to find his way through it without giving up a run. Couple of looks back to Darby, dancing at second. The 0-1, fastball on the ground into right field, a base hit. Good arm from Tracy out in right. He comes up throwing. The throw to the plate on a couple of hops, not in time. And an RBI single from Casey Cook adds another for YD. It's 2-1 Red Sox.
You said it best, Zach. Hard contact starting to pick up a little bit, and we saw this second time through the order, at least the first 4 batters back in the 3rd inning. It was a good, decent amount of usage with the slider, just trying to show a different pitch. Haven't seen that pitch a whole lot here so far now in this 4th inning. They're getting on that changeup, and there it's the fastball at the letters that gets put into right.
All 5 batters have had the ball leave their bat at 90+ this inning. Apodaca takes a called strike on the changeup upstairs that catches the zone. It's now 1-0.
And as we mentioned, a lot of it has to do with, again, the contact, and those are part of the outs too. The 2 outs in this inning are on some sharp line drives.
Apodaca ropes one into right. It bounces in front of Tracy. Being waved around again. The throw to the plate this time offline, and another RBI single. It's 3-1. Talk about the potential of this YD lineup. That's 6 straight 90+ exit velos for the Red Sox as they are hitting everything right now.
Enzo Apodaca makes no mistake. It's a changeup in his wheelhouse there as a lefty. It's just off the plate, and he still gets out in front of it because it kind of sat there a little bit. Tough little bit of inning here with these hits coming together. Makes it a 2-run lead.
First pitch swinging. One hopper snagged by Bazana in shallow right field as he retires Theo Hardy. But a couple of runs come across for YD. It's a 3-1 lead for the Red Sox head to the 5th. YD with a pair of runs in the bottom of the 4th to take a 3-1 advantage into the 5th inning. Before we get to the action, Destiny Sanchez has a message about the Cape League All-Star Game next week.
Thanks, Zach. The Cape League All-Star Game is coming to White House Field in Harwich on July 22nd. Gates will open at 1:30 p.m., a home run derby will begin at 4 p.m., and first pitch is scheduled for 6 p.m. Buy yours today and come watch the top players from across the league all in the same field.
Thank you, Destiny. A few of the Commodores will be out there in Harwich on Saturday. John Spikerman leading things off in this inning, takes changeup for a called strike. Start off the AB against Jackson Kent. The Doors have squandered some opportunities in the last 2 frames. Trying to get that back here. It's a fastball blown by Spikerman. Just like that, it's quickly 0-2.
Yeah, Zach, you said it best. I mean, the 5th inning rolling around now, wind picking up a little bit. Now you're losing.
Spikerman pops one into shallow center. It gets down for a base hit. Wasn't his favorite swing or his best hit of the year, but it's a hit all the same. And the Doors with a leadoff man on the base paths for the 2nd straight inning.
That works. Got jammed on one at the letters. Looked like it was the fastball trying to work him behind there in the 0-2. Good pitch, good spot, but sometimes if you get your head on it like that, you'll get lucky with those bloopers that end up getting down. You got a leadoff base runner once again in John Spikerman.
And here comes Travis Bazana as the game's tying run for the Doors. He takes a strike on the slider at the knees. It's 0-1. Kent once again working from the stretch. The Doors have had base runners in all but the 2nd inning. Mazzana takes fastball outside to even things up. Oregon State Beaver, third in the league in batting average entering today, .351 hitter. But he's 0 for 1 with a walk to this point. Leads the Doors in RBIs along with Kyle DeBarge and Gavin Keelan. Fouls back a changeup, it's 1-2. He was behind 1-2 in his last at bat against Kent, was able to work himself a walk.
A couple of those pitches weren't really all that close, too. A lot of them off the plate to Mazzana.
The 1-2. Fastball, he slaps it back to the screen, stays alive. You'll see another 1-2. Couple of guys starting to get loose in the Whitey bullpen. No one throwing just yet. Kent gives a couple of looks to Spikerman and will check in on him, but he's back standing up. Kent gets the ball back and back to work on the rubber, with Stafford now the catcher behind the plate, remaining in the game after pinch hitting for Garza. 1-2, high and outside, and it's back even. If Kent is able to earn an out, it will be his longest outing of the summer. Had a pair of outings go 4 innings. Now he's working into the 5th. Allowed just the 1 run back in the first. Couple looks, the 2-2. High fly ball, out into center. It's carrying back towards the wall, but it's run down by Kling for out number 1.
Again, right out of the contact, Mazzana not too happy about that one, letting out some emotion there. But again, the wind having a lot to do with that baseball. It took Kling a long way back. Haven't really seen the Commodores get on one except for a couple of sharp base hits. But again, if you can find something there on a line towards the gap, you'll get lucky and have that wind help you out here. Just haven't seen it quite yet from this group.
Now Kyle DeBarge steps in. He lined out in the first and then hit a line drive to center that was an E8 as it just dropped at the last second below the glove of Kling out in center. Spikerman creeping off that bag at first. Already 8 stolen bags on the summer to lead the Doors. Doesn't go here. Fastball popped straight back out of play. It's an 0-1 count. Couple looks back. Runner goes, the 0-1 outside. Stafford comes up throwing, and he throws it away into center field. Spikerman moves up to third. A stolen base and an E2. And once again, a chance for Falmouth to cut into the deficit here with Spikerman just 90 feet away.
Yeah, good job to take advantage of the backstops today. That's Ryan Stafford, new substitution into this ballgame, Zach, because of the pinch hit situation. Garzo's a little shaky back there. I'm not quite sure that's why. Maybe it was just a spot in the game and wanting a different bat in that position, but nonetheless, good job in taking advantage, and so aggressive on the bases already is John Spikerman. That's routine for him, and that, as a result, will bring the infield in on the grass.
1-1, DeBarge slices it down the right field line. It's a fair ball, and that's down. Spikerman comes in to score. DeBarge is headed for second. The throw not in time. An RBI double for Kyle DeBarge, and it's 3-2.
Well, Kyle DeBarge and Travis Mazzana are going back and forth with the RBI lead. Right there, both guys coming in there right at the tippy top. Picks up another one there. RBI number 15 on the season for Kyle DeBarge. The Doors cut the lead in half for YD here in a massive spot in this inning. You want to at least find a way to get this game tied.
And here comes Cade Snell with a chance to do just that. Kyle DeBarge stands at second with 1 away. Snell 0 for 1. Walked in the first, struck out in his last at bat back in the third. Takes big curveball outside. It's 1-0. DeBarge with that walking lead off a second. He's got good speed. A base hit to the outfield could tie up this game. Kent gives him a couple of looks. Left leg kick. 1-0 is skied out to center. Kling back on it. Right in front of the wall, rounding, and he'll make the catch for out number 2.
Well, This inning, the big hitters have found with a couple of them, and Bazana and now Cade's now getting underneath some balls out there straight away. Just not enough on that one, no doubt, but again, it doesn't take a whole lot to get on something all that hard for this ball to carry into the trees like we saw during batting practice, Zach, and got to take advantage of that with Kyle DeBarge standing there at second.
And that's one Cade's going to want back. Fastball, middle. He wasn't able to get enough of it. Yannick out in front of a changeup. On the first pitch, it's 0-1. Falmouth already got in one on the inning on the RBI double from Kyle DeBarge. Trying to even things up at 3 with DeBarge standing at second. Yannick 0 for 1 with a walk. 0-1, right back to the changeup, and he's out in front of it again. It's 0-2.
It's a good pitch. Changeup coming inner third there towards Yannick, just over the top of it. Different approach worked here by Jackson Kent.
He's had success with that changeup. That's what he went to punch out Snell back in the third with runners on the corners. Now he's got Yannick 0-2 with DeBarge standing at second in a 3-2 game. 0-2, fastball upstairs. He lays off it. It's a good disciplined take. The eyes can get pretty big when you see a fastball up after a couple of changeups down. He lays off it. Right-handed hitter digging in against the lefty on the mound in Kent. 2 looks back to DeBarge, the 1-2. High chopper, right side. Takes a tough hop, and it pops out of the hand of Brady Day. Yannick is over to first, and they're on the corners with 2 away.
Well, it's unconventional waiting for a ball to land like that after being hit so high in the air, but Yannick beating it down the bases too. We'll see what they give him there. I would imagine an error for sure, because, I mean, it's in your glove and then pops out there on the transfer. But nonetheless, they're on the corners.
But you mentioned Yannick hustling down the line. That would have been a close play at first base. He moves better than a lot of people would think for a catcher.
I think personally he beats it out for an infield hit.
Unfortunately, the official score does not feel the same.
Yeah.
It is ruled an error. But Luke Heyman with a chance to tie up this ball game. The tying run just 90 feet away and 2 outs. Takes a called strike. Slider at the letters to start him off. He checks with Joseph Lavella and says, at the top of the zone, and gets a nod. Oh, 1 swinging. Pops it up. Right field line. Long run for Cook. And he'll make the catch to retire the side. 3rd straight inning. The Doors strand a pair. This time they get one, though, and cut into the deficit on the Kyle DeBarge double. It's 3-2. YD in front. Headed to the 5th. Falmouth got one back in the top of the fifth, but still trail by a run against this YD team that saw Ryan McCarroll really well the last inning. He's out for a fifth inning of work facing Hunter Hines and starts him off with a slider that stayed outside. 1-0. It's Hines, Day, and Darby, three left-handed hitters, to face the righty McCarroll. 1-0. Change-up drops down below the knees. It's 2-0. Just trying to settle himself down. Hines, a strikeout and a single. His two ABs against him. Way out in front of a changeup there. Looked like he was swinging underwater on that one. Came up empty. It's 2-1. McCarroll works first base side from the windup. 2-1. Fastball inside. A hitter's count to a very dangerous hitter in Hunter Hines.
Yeah, you got to be careful here. Don't want to set up another situation here where bases get going, but you don't want to give anything for this guy.
Pulls that one past him on the changeup. It's 3-2. McCarroll delivers the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Battles back to punch out Hunter Hines. Just his second strikeout of the outing, both of them against Hines. There's one away.
That's a statement that, based on the last one, wasn't sure we were expecting, but nonetheless, get two strikeouts against a bat like that and Hunter Hines. A couple of changeups there, get the wave and miss. If it's your best pitch, you got to use it in some spots, and he does it very, very well there for a big first out.
Here comes Brady Day. Takes a called strike at the knees to start him off. On the slider, it's 0-1. Cassius Thomas is warming in the bullpen for Falmouth. Flamethrower out of Duke. It's a 1-1 count. Day walked and scored in the second, grounded into the inning-ending double play in the third. YD was able to bring a pair across in that bottom of the fourth. Falmouth responding with one in the fifth, but still behind by a run against the East Division leaders. Fastball misses outside. It's 2-1 now today. Xander Darby looming on deck. He's reached both times. McCarroll stumbles as he comes off the mound on that slider. It stayed outside. Second straight hitter with a 3-1 count for YD.
Well, he went to consecutive changeups to get back in that count in the previous batter, and Hunter Hines could be the selection here.
Instead, he misses outside. It is the changeup, but not close. And a 5-pitch walk gives YD a one-out base runner.
We mentioned earlier, but saw the handful of walks, 3 of them in that first appearance against YD last time for McCarroll. Here, a little bit of a different story here. He's had a little bit more to work with on the bases because of some self-inflicted base runners that come across. Already now 3 for him here, and what you would expect to probably be his last inning here. You just want to put up a 0 here, keep this thing tight, especially with your offense getting back in it.
Fastball outside to start Xander Darby. It's 1-0. Looking for a ground ball. Darby did hit a ground ball last time, but pulled it through the hole between first and second and found right field grass. Change up just low and out, and it's 2-0. They're playing Darby to pull. High fly ball, deep center field. Spikerman goes back. That one's way gone, and it's 5-2 YD.
Fastball, middle. Can't do that against Xander Darby. That baseball went off the top tree branches in straightaway center field, came back into play. That's a big swing and not the result you wanted to see after your offense got back in this game.
Yeah, it's really not deep here at all at YD, but that ball was hit 412 feet. That's going out pretty much anywhere. Unless you're playing at, I guess, Comerica Park out there, but it's going most places. And just like that, YD back in front by 3 now.
I think it would have gone off the top of the fence and out at Eldridge center field there. I mean, that thing is
that's
deep.
434. I don't know that it's going out at that park. I don't know that anything's going out at that park. Ground ball, base hit into left from Kling. Another hard hit ball. And YD continues the offensive explosion here.
Mike Landry standing on the top step right now, and now he's going to go out there. And you mentioned Cash Thomas ready to go. I think this is the spot we're going to see that move.
No call to the pen just yet as Landry comes out towards the mound. Very different outing for McCarroll this time than the last time you saw YD. This is one of the best offensive teams on the Cape for a reason, and they have continued to produce all season long. They've been in a bit of a slump the last few games. That's dropped their rankings in a lot of those categories, but at the end of the day, this team can hit.
No, absolutely. I think they've come back to earth, I think is the term that makes a little bit of sense here because, the 3 straight losses, only 4 runs given up or scored by this team, a -10 run differential for YD over the stretch of that time. And aside from the home runs that we've already seen one today, 23 for them on the season, that's second in the Cape League, everything else is below the halfway point across other teams. That includes runs, RBIs, average. All 3 of those metrics are in the 6th and 7th spot in the Cape League standings.
Cash Thomas coming in out of the pen. We'll give you all his numbers when we come back. 5-2, YD in front from Red Wilson Field. Cassius Thomas to the mound for Falmouth, replacing Ryan McCarroll, whose day is done after 4 1/3, giving up 5 already, and has a man on the base paths that he's responsible for as well.
Yeah, Cash Thomas settled down a little bit after that tough debut against Orleans where he walked 6 batters, gave up 2 in the process of that one. But we saw him against Brewster on July 12th. Just said it there. Walks a lot of batters, 8 of them. Got to be extra careful. When he's on the mound there, you got to limit those free passes.
He'll face Doug Gleed and fires a fastball upstairs to start him off. It was a really highly rated recruit out of high school, out of Sierra Canyon in California. Went across the country to play at Duke, and now staying on the East Coast here in the Cape. Fouled back into the parking lot. It's 1-1.
Well, he's got life to that fastball, no doubt about it. Comes in there 93, 94. He's got a lot of energy on that one.
Look back over to first base. Back in safely is Kling. Thomas into the game, working now from the stretch with that runner on first base. Long hold. Runner goes. Breaking ball upstairs. Yannick comes up throwing. The throw in time to get Paxton Kling. Real nice throw from Walker Yannick. Takes the base runner away. It's out number 2, and that also now completes the line for McCarroll. 4 1/3 innings pitch for him. 7 hits, 5 runs, all earned. 3 walks and 2 punch-outs.
Well, that's massive. Breaking ball kind of stayed floating up on Cash Thomas. That's okay because it allowed Yannick to get out of the crouch there and delivers a dart to get the base runner.
Goes back to the breaking ball. It's upstairs again. And it's 3-1. Three-one fastball outside, and Thomas now will have a base runner again as he walks Dub Gleed.
And 9 walks, over 3 2/3 so far. A little more than that now, I guess, with a couple of batters he's faced for Cash Thomas this season. Certainly a number you got to get down, but strikes out batters a lot. And right now you only need 1 more out. Be a good time to get one of those here.
He's got Ryan Stafford in. Out of Cal Poly, was a pinch hitter in the 4th. Singleton scored in that 2-run inning for YD. This is already a 2-run inning. And a fastball at 90 miles an hour upstairs, and it's 1-0. Rain has held off so far. We've played 5, so if the rain does come, it can be an official game. 1-0 hit on a line. A diving stop by Keelan at second. Underhand flip to Bazana in time. Gavin Keelan flashing the leather to retire the side, but YD still gets a pair. It's 5-2 Red Sox. After 5, Matt Venezia has the play-by-play. On the other side of the break, you are listening to Falmouth Commodores Baseball.
New arm on the mound as we bring you back here for the 6th inning. Matt Venezia Zach Sardenic, Destiny Sanchez with you here at Red Wilson Field. As we've been talking about throughout the broadcast, the weather was downpouring on us during batting practice. It stayed away for now. Now that it's into the 6th inning, it is an official ball game here. So the Commodores have some work to do, trailing by 3. 7-8-9 due up. Gavin Keelan, Nate Humphreys out of Dallas Baptist, and Tab Tracy rounding out the order for their 3rd set of at-bats in this ball game. With Blake Ida, the new mound, firing the first one in there off the plate.
Already 7 left on for the Doors through the first 5 innings of work, and that includes a 1-2-3 inning in the second. They've left a man in scoring position in each of the last 3 and a pair on the base paths both times.
7 base runners stranded now through 5 sets of at-bats for Falmouth. Trailing by 5-2 is the score here. Keelan got under that one. It's slicing away and foul. Good effort there by Apodaca in foul territory to try to get there. Drops innocently, though. It's a 1-2 count now to the shortstop of the Commodores, named an all-star, as were 4 other Falmouth Commodores that we told you about earlier on in the broadcast. Ida, with nobody aboard here, working out of the wind, fires one in. It hung on Gavin Keelan. He ropes it on a line. It gets down into right. Be a base hit for Keelan. Nice job by Gavin. His first hit of the day leads off the inning here nicely for Falmouth.
You want an instant response if you're Falmouth. You want to find a way to, at the very least, cut into this deficit, try and get it closer. You know there's a chance at the weather, but there's also a chance we could get through 9 innings today. So you've got a shot to try and fight yourself back into it, but you want to do it as soon as possible.
The right-hander out of Kennesaw State, Blake Ida, toes the rubber now. Been one of the better relief options used for the Yarmouth-Dennis Red Sox to this point in the year. Falmouth has already seen him, though, this year.
They have. He went 4 innings the last time these two teams met here, Red Wilson Field. The only run he gave up was unearned, and that was in the 10th inning. But he was really solid overall, and he's been really solid this summer to the tune of a sub-3 ERA.
That'll certainly work. The 1-0 to Humphreys, chopped at the plate. Back in towards the new catcher in the ball game. Ryan Stafford came in during the 4th inning in a pinch hit situation. May have gotten a piece of Stafford or our home plate umpire back there who's going to hand deliver the baseball. Joseph Labella now kind of picks up his step a little bit getting back behind the plate. But it is Nate Humphreys in the box. Tab Tracy awaits on deck. Humphreys 0 for 2 today. Strikeout and a fly out into left. Ida, quick check over to first, delivers a fastball off the plate. 2-1 count. Humphreys there getting himself set. Pretty big knee bend wide there in the box coming from the left side. Swinging at a fastball. This is in the same area for Apodaca giving chase. He has a play on it in left, and in foul ground will make the play. Gavin Keelan tagging, though, from first. He's in there in time. The throw is cut off by Hardy. Gavin Keelan, on a productive out that you probably weren't expecting to be productive, moves to second.
It is, and it's not a swing that Humphrey's going to like, but at the end of the day, you move up the runner.
It's a big run for the Commodores, just trying to chip away as you can in this ball game. 5-2, the Red Sox using the help of a 2-run swing there in the previous inning, coming from Xander Darby to straightaway center. 4-12 on the distance there. A little bit of homework to do here for Falmouth the rest of the way. Tab Tracy trying to put a foot towards that in the right direction. He takes one low and away from the lefty at 91 for a strike. Talked about the numbers from Ida to this point. 12 2/3 innings now. A full 13 have been used for him out of Kennesaw State here this summer. Offers here. Yanked his fastball down at the toes of Tab there in the left-handed batter's box. 1-1.
Saying where you want at least one run across, but if you can get multiple runs here for the Doors and start to feel like you're right back in the thick of this game, that would definitely be ideal, especially as you give way to your bullpen, which at times has been the strength of this team.
Tying run is John Spikerman in the on-deck circle. Tab takes one up and away. Looked to be the changeup that got the zone from Ida, and Falmouth dugout not too happy with that one up and away. And that one makes it 1-2.
It was close.
Probably not a pitch you want to swing at anyway. It's just not really a hittable offering there, but
No.
Labella says it got the zone. Ida out of the stretch, the 1-2. On the ground to second. A play for Brady Day on the run. He makes the flip. It's in time. Gavin Keelan to third on the 4-3 putout. And John Spikerman's going to have to hit something clean or something getting by Ryan Stafford to bring in Gavin.
You start with the leadoff single, and you're feeling good about the way things are going. Get ahead in the count with Humphreys, but the fly out, and then that ground out there to Tracy. And just like that, Ida's 1 out away from getting out of this unscathed. Doors need to string something together here at the top of the order, which they have done a few times already in this game.
It is Spike here, back flipping the lineup card to the top. First pitch swinging, fastball sends it straight back at 92. 5 of the last 6 for John Spikerman, multi-hit efforts. That includes the efforts today. He's come around for the only 2 runs of Falmouth in this ball game. In the first inning, base hit, 5th inning base hit, was able to move around with a pair of stolen bases in those trips and an error and pass ball. Offering on the outer third, got the zone 85. Ida into the zone here. 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Ida fires one off the plate. Scoreboard here says 1-1. It is 1-2 though. I think that's just a human error on that one here. There wasn't a pitch clock violation or a called time during that foul ball pitch on the first offering. The 1-2 from Spike. He went fishing for it, just barely got a piece of it on that curveball from Ida.
It's a really good curveball. Quite a bit of drop to it, and Spikerman just staying alive. That's all you need, because you can continue to fight. You're going to get a pitch more likely than not that you can hit if you continue to make these pitchers work, and Spikerman trying to do just that.
270 hitter in Oklahoma this year. A couple shakes to the head from Ida. Comes set now at the waist. Lifts the leg and fires, and John fouls it straight back. Another fastball, trying to work him from behind here. A couple of heaters that Spike's been able to just barely get a piece of here. We battle on here with a ball and 2 strikes. The Aussie Travis Bazzana anticipating an opportunity in the on-deck circle here with 2 away. He represents the game-tying run here in this top of the 6th inning for Falmouth. The offering in the dirt, good block. Just barely gets away from Stafford. Not enough speed on that loose pitch for Keelan to make an effort to home, but with where that one ended up, he probably could have.
And it's an instinct-type play. He didn't think it was going to get that far away. Spikerman immediately was trying to say, come on, and then just kind of had to stop that because Stafford got to it quickly. That could come back to be a big spot. We'll see.
It is instinctual, that's for sure. You don't want to be the last out on the bases. That is also for sure, especially in this kind of a spot. The 2-2. Fastball, rather the slider there, trying to get the upstairs corner away from Spike. It was left there. And now the count finds its way to be full. 3-2.
I don't know which one's right or not, but that was pretty much the same spot that Tab Tracy had in his last AB.
If anything, maybe just a little bit higher. Spikerman swinging, lofts this one into deep left center field, giving chase in center is Kling at the wall. It's gone! John Spikerman leaves the yard for the 2nd time this summer. The opposite way, a 2-run shot pulls Falmouth to within a couple.
He got another slider, and this time he comes through. First Oppo bomb of the summer. And his first home run from the left side. He's got one from the right, now one from the left.
Saw him mash one, pulled at Spillane Field from the right-handed box for his first of the year. That one the other way as a lefty. Takes Blake Ida deep, and the Commodores right back in this one. It's 5-4. All with 2 out. The Commodores finding a way there at Spikerman getting a chance. Those productive outs in that foul territory play for Apodaca and left, and then the ground ball in the infield. Didn't matter. Spikerman does it himself, pulling Falmouth back into this ball game. Home run number 15 on the year for the Doors. That's a second for the center fielder out of Oklahoma. An exclamation point here in this inning. Meanwhile, back to the action. 2-1 now to Bazzana. He's got 3 home runs this summer. On a line here, on one hop into center field, a base hit, and that extends the hitting streak for Travis Bazzana. The carousel continues here with 2 out in this 6th inning.
And a chance to keep it going. Hitting's contagious. We've seen big innings from the Doors all throughout these last 15 games. They've just found a way to come through when they've needed to. Can they do it again?
The West Division starting left fielder comes up there for Falmouth. Gives Kyle DeBarge a chance here to bat for the 4th time already in this ball game. It's only the 6th inning. In a game that entering this frame, the Doors only had 2 runs. Yet, they've had many chances. We talked about it. 7 stranded runners for Falmouth today. They've given themselves chances against Jackson Kent and now Blake Ida.
And they're seeing Ida well. It's a similar spot with Kent where they had already seen him before, and now they've already seen Ida for 4 innings. Although a lot of these guys weren't here at that point. It was a very different team that day.
That is true. That was only a couple of games into the season.
Yeah, the last out of that game was recorded by Charlie Condon.
That's right. Condon hasn't been here for a little while. Departed towards the tail end of June. Going on the throw is Bazzana, and he does get nabbed there. Looked like he got his left hand in there in time. The inning comes to an end on the bases, but not before John Spikerman rallies the Commodores back into this game. A 2-run shot to left makes it 5-4 for YD. We'll be right back. Cash Thomas takes the mound. Very different situation than when he took the hill in relief of Ryan McCarroll. Now 1-run ball game, and now more than ever, Zach, you got to put up a 0 here in the 6th.
You do. You put up 1 run in the top of the 5th to make it a 1-run game. Then you gave up 2. Now you scored 2 in the top of the 6th to get right back within 1. You need a 0.
Some 2-out work being done by the Falmouth Commodores. Runs in 2 consecutive innings for the Doors now. Up against Jackson Kent and now Blake Ida, one of the better relief arms in the Cape League this season. Yet the Doors strike twice on the swing of 1. Cash Thomas, fastball off the plate, falls behind 2-0 here to the 9-hitter Casey Cook, batting in there from the left side. Thomas, no one on here, working out of the wind. Into his motion now, rocks himself and then delivers. Fastball way upstairs, up and away, never had a chance. It's 3-0. When he starts his motion there, almost before releasing and arching towards the plate, he kind of rests there at the top. Here it is. Fastball at the letters. Called strike behind the plate there. Joseph Labella giving the Falmouth righty the benefit of that close call there. 3-1. Again into his motion. That one nowhere near. And it's a walk. The second one surrendered by Cash Thomas. And that leadoff base runner that you were trying to avoid is on.
It's the 3rd time that Whitey's gotten the leadoff man aboard. They scored the first 2 times.
That they have. They didn't get the leadoff man in the fifth. It was a strikeout on Hunter Hines done by Ryan McCarroll. His 2 strikeouts came against the best power hitter in this lineup. But then after that, the walk of Brady Day, and then the 2-run shot. This one in the dirt gets away from Yannick on the pick effort. Looks to be a wild pitch and allows the base runner Cook to move on to second.
The control just still hasn't been there. We're just waiting for it to come through. He's got so much talent in Thomas. That arm is undeniably talented, but at the end of the day, he's just got to be able to find the zone.
Well, now a base hit will move the lead to 2. Casey Cook, good speed there at second. The cloud's getting a little bit darker here as this overcast look really covers the entire area here at YD. Red Wilson Field a little bit darker now. The 1-0, fastball up and away. Yannick can't. Tried to frame it there, just off the plate. 2-0. Trying to get back into this count a little bit is Cash Thomas. Pitch number 14 coming up. He's only thrown 3 strikes. A look to second for Cook. Now he looks back at home and fires, and that one's off and away up again. It's 3-0. Very similar trend to his first appearance in that fog delay ensued ball game at Eldridge Park at Orleans. Falmouth came away with a win in that one. 6-3, but Cash Thomas did walk 6 batters in that one. The 3-0, right there all day. Doesn't find trouble getting that first strike when he's behind, but now it's a matter of getting the second.
He's going to need a couple more. Nolan Moore's up and throwing for the doors. He's been a good, consistent arm. You want to see Cash get him the ball, still with a 1-run deficit.
Cash waits. Now the bunt is shown there. It's a fastball low. Another walk. Apodaca was content with at least showing it there since Cash has struggled a little bit. He's up there talking to himself a little bit now at second and first. He had the open base to work with. But now, only third there. We don't extend it. And now Mike Landry is going to make the move. Comes out of the bullpen. Didn't waste any time. Points over there, and Cash Thomas's day is over.
Just, again, it's unfortunate because we talk about the arm talent. It's there. And he just has not been able to dial himself in and find the zone.
Nolan Moore is going to come in here and try to work through a couple of leadoff base runners. The lefty will take the mound for Falmouth. Still looking for an out here in the 6th. The lefty out of Northwestern takes him out. Nolan Moore. We saw him a couple days ago in his season debut. Massive spot here for Moore taking over here at Red Wilson Field.
Going to enter with a couple of inherited base runners that he needs to find a way to strand because we talked about at the beginning of this inning, it's a massive spot for a 0. If you're able to put yourself back at the plate for the 7th inning with just a 1-run deficit, you got to feel good about where you're at, especially if you're able to work out of a jam like this. But in this lineup with 2, 3, 4, not ideal.
Nolan Moore was the last Commodore to pitch in the 12-5 loss the other day against Katuitt. Went an inning, gave up a hit, walked a batter, no Ks, but at that point in the ball game, it was a very wide deficit that the Doors put up a couple runs there in the ninth to make things a little bit closer, but all in all, not the anticipated debut from Nolan Moore to come into a spot where you're trailing by that many runs. Different situation here, though, just looking for a hold and trying to clean up a little bit of a mess that Cash Thomas left on the bases here. Showing bunt, it does get down in fair territory, more along the first base line, makes the flip. It's a 1-3 put out to Luke Heyman. Everyone else moves up 90 feet for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, probably could have just put a tag on Handy there, but instead goes with the flip.
Well, you were taking on the switch hitter and Theo Hardy there. It didn't matter what arm you bring in. He just flipped to the other side. Now you have the lefty to go up against a lefty in Hunter Hines.
Really need a big out here against a really good hitter.
Moore wants a new baseball with Hunter Hines in there now. 2 strikeouts, all against Ryan McCarroll for Hunter Hines. Sees a different picture for the first time today. The 1-0 offering popped up pretty deep out to right center. Tab Tracy camping by the fence. A leaping grab and he'll make the play. It carried a lot out there into right. Tagging from third is Casey Cook. It does the job. That ball nearly left the yard, Zach.
It did, and it didn't look like Hines got all, well, he didn't get all of it, but he skied it up there and gave it a chance. But Tracy make the play and does unfortunately bring in a run, though, for YD.
One of those runs to the line of Cash Thomas. Still one more out there. That's Enzo Apodaca standing at third. So we'll see if Moore can complete half the battle and stranding Apodaca there. But now the lead makes it now 7-4. On the ground, right at Bazana. He'll make the flip on over. 4-3 put out ends the inning. It is 6-4. We knew that. The scoreboard here had it wrong, but that's okay. Just want to correct that here. Our scoreboard on there on our stream is correct. So outside of the sacrifice, one more run tacked on by YD. We go to the 7th. The Doors need at least 2 the rest of the way from Red Wilson Field. After the 2-run shot given up by Blake Ida, another move to the bullpen for the Red Sox. Finley takes the mound here out of Georgia. The right-hander will try to work against 3-4-5 of Falmouth.
Yeah, Nolan Moore comes in and strands one on the base paths for the Doors. They give up one on the sac fly, but you're still within 2 runs. This offense has been producing, finding base runners. Just need to find a way to get a couple more across. Trying to even things up here in the 7th.
Good part in the order to have up for this situation now. As Kyle DeBarge was in the batter's box when the inning ended last time. That's because Travis Bazzana got thrown out at second. So DeBarge will step back in there again. Cade Snell awaits on deck with Walker Yannick in the hole here in this inning. Wind bristling a little bit more here at Red Wilson Field. Clouds continuing to stay dark, but no precipitation just yet. But we're now into the 7th inning here. Falmouth trailing by 2. Leighton Finley, first offering, fastball, outer third, called strike at 90.
Finley's been really good this season. 13 innings pitched for YD, has yet to give up an earned run.
Makes sense to have him in a spot like this where you're trying to hold that situation. DeBarge slicing one foul near the bullpen of Falmouth, a souvenir for a couple of fans. He's quickly behind 0-2. Finley, a tall righty, stands there out of the wind, looking for the sign. Now into his motion, delivers a fastball driven into deep left center field by Kyle DeBarge. A running play. Cutting it off is Apodaca there in left. Had to jump right out of the chute there to make the play, one away.
Really good swing. Gave it a ride, but Apodaca ran it down.
That was a good piece there by Kyle DeBarge, jumping off the bat at 91 miles an hour. So now it's Cade Snell. Standing in there now, left side. Snell to this point, 0 for 2 officially, had a walk back in the first. Curveball runs in on him here. Snell looking to extend his hitting streak. Up to 12 games now. Offering from Leighton Finley. That time he drops in what appears to be the slider in there. Right down the middle, a little bit low, taken there for a strike. 1-1 now with one away. Commodores trailing by 2 here. 6-4, the swing of John Spikerman getting the team back in this one. On the 1-1, it's chopped to the shortstop, Hardy. Long throw across the diamond by a step. They retire Cade Snell for the second out.
Leighton Finley's coming in and doing what he has done the entire time he's been here for YD. He just finds a way to get going, and giving up that run again can be kind of deflating for Falmouth because you're in a spot where every time you have scored runs to come back in this game in the top half, you've given up runs in the bottom half. It's 3 straight innings that YD has scored at least a run, and 4 of the last 5.
Now Walker Yannick stands in. First offering to him, fouls it back off of the catcher, Stafford. 0-1. Yannick back-to-back starts with a home run ball. None today to this point. Wouldn't mind one right here. The offering from Finley, taken just off the plate. Nice decision there. 1-1 now. They've mentioned a couple of times that the scoreboard's had some difficulties here with the technical issues here at Red Wilson Field. The count shows 2-2. It is not. Now it's reset. Yannick way out in front of that one. Now you can put 2 strikes there in the situation. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Walker Yannick, the Bearcat. Still looking for hit number 1 today for him. 0 for 2. Worked that walk back in the 4th. Finley delivers. Fastball right there at the knees. Not a fan of it was Walker Yannick. He'll go back with a backwards K. The Commodores go 1-2-3 in the 7th. Time to stretch from Red Wilson Field. Bottom 7 we go. Nolan Moore back out there again for Falmouth. Trailing by 2 now in the later stages of the game. Running out of time. The Commodores just 6 outs remaining in this ball game. Got to keep it where it is right now. First pitch to Xander Darby, a fastball upstairs. Misses up there. Darby, the 2-run home run back in the 5th. Today has come across with 3 runs. To his credit, came around to score back on a single in the first, and he drove in 2 on that big swing.
Yeah, he's reached every time he's come up. He's been a big bat in the middle of this order for YD.
Left on left matchup here with Moore into the motion out of the windup here. And this one's driven and given a rock out to straightaway center field. Spikerman right in front of the wall will camp under it. That wind continues to gust out there to straightaway center, but he didn't quite get all of it there. That's a long first out.
Yeah, pitch elevated at the letters and just got a bit under it.
To the benefit of the Falmouth Commodores there. That did not miss by a whole lot. So now you bring in Paxton Kling. Has a base hit today in the ball game, and 2 official appearances, had a sacrifice way back in the 2nd. Kling had an error out in center a couple of innings ago, allowed Falmouth to get on the board with a situation that moved Gavin Keelan over to the corner, and you would, it's just a weird situation there. We couldn't quite tell if it was going to be ruled a hit or an error. They did go with the error. The 1-0, Kling way in front of that one. Slowed it down on him there, did Nolan Moore. Right over the top of that breaking ball. 1-1.
Moore's been good. I like what I've seen so far. He doesn't throw super hard, but he locates well and he mixes his pitches.
Works here with the pitch. Same offering, same spot, same result. Cut over the top on that beautiful slider there, and it's swung on and missed for strike 3. For some reason, I thought that was a 1-1 count there. I'm not quite sure what I was expecting there. Nonetheless, it is a strikeout. The scoreboard is confusing me here just a little bit. This one, first pitch swinging into left. Base hit for Dub Gleed. Right in the hole there to the right of Gavin Keelan. And a 2-out knock. Has a base runner aboard.
Number 7, Ryan Stafford.
Now Ryan Stafford gets an opportunity here. Again, late addition into this ball game as the pinch hitter. Stafford out of Cal Poly. So far, slow start for him this summer as he slices that one away from the right-handed batter's box. 0-1 now. A 125 hitter in this slow start to the campaign. Just 3 hits and 24 tries entering today's action.
And all of the hits against Falmouth. He had a 3-hit game against Falmouth back on June 18th here, and now he got in the game again today and got himself a hit right away.
That ball game, one of the 2 ties that the Falmouth Commodores have had to this point in the summer. It was the second one, and we haven't seen one since, knock on wood. Wouldn't mind to get a point, obviously, in the standings with the way that the ties work here, but that second point, so pivotal, especially in a jam-packed West Division. Moore looking for the sign, comes set now. Base runner to work with there, standing at first. Gives a look over to Dub Gleed and now steps towards home. This one slapped into right. It'll get down for a hit. Tracy lost his footing there. Comes up, though, still with the throw. That allowed Dub Gleed to stay there at second. Back-to-back 2-out singles, setting up YD here.
It's a massive at-bat with Casey Cook. Actually, it's not going to be Casey Cook. Wow. You don't usually see that where a guy's already in the batter's box and it's not a pinch hitter that was sitting in the on-deck circle, too.
Max Vieira will be the guy called on, and good bat to have in this situation here. You can sense the amount of insurance kind of needed in this situation, Zach.
Yeah, Vieira's a big bat.
Obviously, with having Cook step into the box and be taken out, probably just a last instinctual decision there. He gets on this one, and it's driven out to center. Spikerman backing up, cruising to make the play. That was a really hard-hit baseball, but nonetheless, another out there pretty deep to center. Nolan Moore doing a nice job working 2 consecutive scoreless innings, keeping the offense of Falmouth back in this one. It's 6-4 as we go to the 8th. Go to the 8th inning. 6-4 for Falmouth. Trailing by 2 here from Red Wilson Field, but there is action getting underway around the Cape, and Destiny Sanchez updates us.
Thanks, Matt. The Highness Harbor Hawks lead the Harwich Mariners 5-1 in the top of the 6th. The Katuitt Kettleers are ahead of the Orleans Firebirds 2-0 in the top of the 2nd. The Brewster Whitecaps and the Chatham Anglers are in pregame, and the Wareham Gatemen and Bourne Braves game was canceled.
Thank you, Destiny. We thought for a second with the rain that the Doors would join that Bourne cancellation game with the weather. We were talking with the YD broadcasting team, and those guys have had 2 games canceled this week due to weather, so you knew that they wanted to push the effort to try to play if they could, and so far so good as we now enter the 8th inning.
Yeah, and at the very least, it can be an official game.
That it certainly can. With the Doors now needing 2, trailing 6-4 here. The Commodores have Luke Heyman leading it off. Righty, lefty, lefty to start off this 8th inning. Still out there, Leighton Finley. Works into the motion, delivers, big cut and a miss from Luke Heyman to begin this 8th inning of play. Looking for his first hit today. He's in the lineup over at first base, trying to get some more right-handed hitters into this lineup with Jackson Kent, the starter on the mound. Kent, as this one sent straight back. Kent had the last laugh so far today. 5 innings, give up 3 hits, just 2 runs. In part of the effort now that has YD out in front, but the Commodores did get a number on Blake Ida with John Spikerman's 2-run shot. Looking in for the sign there behind the plate from Stafford. Works into the motion in the pitch. Heyman gets a piece of the fastball and sends it straight back.
Just trying to battle this inning where if you're Falmouth, you at least want to try and get one across, cut into it, so that way you can set yourself up in a 1-run game or better if you can tie it or take the lead going into that 9th inning.
Heyman way out in front of the breaking ball. He comes up empty on the swinging strikeout.
Mentioned the numbers from Leighton Finley. He's been so good this season. That's why he's a Cape League All-Star. Now at 14 2/3 innings pitched with just 2 unearned runs allowed.
Because of the add of Max Vieira, there's a couple of changes now. Vieira will take the spot of Apodaca out and left, and then Enzo Apodaca takes Cook's spot out and right. Casey Cook, the lone man out on that substitution. His day is over for now, but Apodaca made a couple of plays out there and left. Now he moves over to the opposite corner in the right corner outfield spot. Gavin Keelan slicing that one foul and quickly behind 0-2.
Finley continuing to deal right now. Starts him off with a really good breaking ball and then comes back with the heater.
Leighton Finley rocks into his move. The pitch. Spiked the slider there. Good take by Gavin Keelan. The Commodores winners yesterday after the streak snapped against Katuitt. Overall, Falmouth winners of 11 of the last 14. Trying to avoid a little back and forth situation here brewing in terms of wins and losses. The offering from Finley, a little bit better of a breaking pitch off the plate for a ball.
You don't want that to be the case, but it would bode good things for tomorrow's game in a big one against Hyannis.
That it is. We have not seen the Harbor Hawks in a very, very long time. Keelan, the other way. Is it going to get down? No, it is not. Just barely fouled by about a foot or so. Gavin Keelan at first didn't really know if it was going to go or not. Then decided to run towards first base. So a battle again in a 2-2 count.
Yeah, another good fastball from Finley. Keelan just tried to slap it the other way and keep it fair down that line. If it had stayed fair, it would have been extra bases, but instead, he's back to the box trying to win the battle.
Haven't seen Hyannis since June 26, part of that back-to-back Nesson series. But that matchup, the last one we'll have during the regular season at McKeon Park. And we have not been to McKeon Park in a little while as Gavin Keelan chops one to second. Day on the throw. In time with a good stretch from Gleed at first, 2 away.
Leighton Finley has just been lights out. Works a good pitch on that 2-2. Went right back to the fastball outside, and Keelan this time tried to pull it and rolled it over.
It's been nearly a month to the day since the last time we were at McKeon Park, June 16th. So part of that effort there, June 19th, I apologize. June 19th was the last time we were there. The Harbor Hawks walked it off on the Commodores that night, 3-2.
And They're playing really good baseball right now as well.
That they are. Hyannis surging all the way up to the second spot in this West Division right now. 17, 12, and 1 entering today's action. 5 points ahead of the Commodores, good for 2.5 games in that spot. Nate Humphreys now working behind here. The offering chopped at the plate. Quickly 0-2. Really good bounce back by Leighton Finley. Has been that arm for this team. And after Ida got hit around a little bit, right now it's been 5 up, 5 down for Finley. With 2 away here in the top of the 8th for Falmouth. Into the motion, the pitch. Fastball just fouled. Staying alive is the Dallas Baptist outfielder. Out in left field today for Jeff Trundy and the Commodores. Action getting underway here at 4:45 from Red Wilson Field. Typically always the first game to go here at Lowell Park with the Katuitt Cavaliers. 2 fields here in the Cape League, as that one's fouled off. That don't have lights, so you kind of have to get the games in. Again, with the clouds here, Zach, it is getting relatively dark, but I'd imagine obviously the game would still finish into at least the last at-bat of Falmouth into the 9th, but it is something to keep an eye on, as it's now 7 o'clock here.
Definitely is. You still have a little bit of time before the sun sets, but it doesn't really matter right now when you can't see the sun.
Check swing. Did he go? Point down to third. Yes, he did. Humphreys down on strikes for the second time today. Falmouth goes 1-2-3. The Doors have had a tough time against Leighton Finley in relief. He's gone 6 up, 6 down with 3 strikeouts. Got to hold the lead to just 2 of YD before going back for the 9th for the Doors' last ups. We go to the bottom of the 8th from Red Wilson Field. Top of the order, due up here now, Enzo Apodaca working in right field now after that substitution we mentioned in the previous half inning. Still Nolan Moore on the mound for his now 3rd inning of work for Falmouth. Able to drop the slider in there on the outer third for a called strike behind the plate from Joseph Labella. Apodaca, RBI base hit back in the 4th inning, as this slider again runs off the plate, evening the count at 1. Walked last time, and has a pair of pretty identical ground ball outs to Travis Bazzana in consecutive order through his first 2 at-bats. Gets another slow pitch here. This one was middle, though, and it's fouled straight back. 1-2.
Nolan Moore's done a nice job of settling things and keeping it at a two-run lead for YD.
The 1-2 from Nolan Moore, giving a ride out into right. Tracy giving chase. Goes off the wall. He'll have to go chase it now, and standing up into second. It's a leadoff double from Enzo Apodaca, and that's trouble right away here for Nolan Moore.
This YD team can hit. We talked about how they had fallen a little bit in the different statistical rankings, but these guys hit again and again and again, and we're seeing that.
That one just took a couple of hops away from Tab Tracy out there in right field, able to get a big throw in to keep the wheels of Apodaca chilling at second base now. He gets into a walking primary lead with Theo Hardy in the box now, looking for his first hit today. Sacrifice here. He had one last time. He's going to do it again. Along the third baseline, DeBarge on the run. Delivers in time. That allows Apodaca to move on 90 feet to third. That's a massive run of insurance for YD, but also a run that you do not want any business of coming across home plate this inning.
Not at all.
Apodaca 90 feet away. Hunter Hines steps in the box. Left on left. It was a sacrifice fly out into right. It was a sack that brought in a run for Hunter Hines last time up. With one out, though, that situation wouldn't help Falmouth here. You'd get another out, but that run from Apodaca would come in. The infield is all the way in here. Got to find a way to get a put out here. Hines rips one into the gap in left center. It's going to get down for a base hit. Apodaca will score. Hunter Hines comes up, his second RBI today, and it is that massive third run here of insurance at 7-4.
Out of Kansas State, number 10, Brady Day.
It's a pitch middle. Left it over the heart of the plate on the breaking ball, and Hines didn't miss it.
Out of USC, number 6, Ryan Jackson.
Pinch runner takes the spot of Hunter Hines now. That works well in the designated hitter role. You don't have to worry about replacing typically what's normally a first baseman out there in Hunter Hines, but Ryan Jackson, the Trojan, will take over now. This one in there for a strike. Good recovery from Nolan Moore. Has left some of his stuff there in hittable locations as we saw there, but all in all, you're getting the 3 innings from him here. Eating up some innings and has looked solid.
Yeah, he's looked good overall. Don't want that run to come in late, but at the end of the day, he's continuing to pound the zone and get you back into it, throwing strikes, keep you close enough. The offense has really been shut down by Leighton Finley over the last couple innings, and that's hurt the momentum from Falmouth.
That one left off the plate. Appeared to be the slider there, low and away. Moore comes set. And now makes a move back over to check on the wheels that are now into this ball game and Ryan Jackson. Well, we talked about Nolan Moore a little bit there in his first appearance and inning of work a couple of nights back. Another check on over to Jackson. Only gave up 1 run over his last 7 outings. Now it's 5 2/3 innings pitched for Moore at a good end of his season there at Northwestern this year. The 2-1 given a ride out towards Tab Tracy and right. A couple back pedals. He'll make the play. The ball just jumps here. Red Wilson Field gives us a second half to kind of see where it's going, but that one right at Tracy for the second out.
Yeah, it jumps out of this park anyways, but with the wind, it really jumps.
The Red Sox protecting a 3-run lead now. Xander Darby, big home run swing for him back in the 5th. Officially today, Darby working on an effort of 2 for 3. So he's going to take that one off the plate there a little bit high, 1-0. The Doors in this effort now as this one runs in and gets Xander Darby. Hit him there on the 1-0. And now you're setting yourself up into a tough situation here. 2 on with 2 out.
And a guy in Paxton Kling who, yes, struck out the last time against Moore, and he did not look great in that at-bat, but overall, he's hit the ball really hard today.
Yes, he has. A couple of sharp contacts by him. Got all over one. Was retired by John Spikerman in his second at-bat of the game. Fastball up, trying to backpick there was Yannick. Heyman just a little bit late there on the tag, but it was a pretty good throw.
It was, and it wasn't a bad idea. Darby had a big lead over off of first base.
Nolan Moore now out of the stretch. Looks for the sign from Yannick behind the plate. Gets into it here. Big wave and a miss there at the slider. That's a good pitch there.
And that's exactly the approach that he used to attack Kling last time. And it worked really well.
It was 2 consecutive wave and misses at the pitch. Helped set him up there for the strikeout swinging. Tries it again here, the 1-1. That one just barely off the plate there. Good offering there on the changeup. Missing in the outer third into the left-handed batter's box. 2-1 for Kling. Playing this season, 4 of 17. Home run and 2 RBIs. Runs a pitch in there. That looked like it was the slider. Backs him off the plate a little bit now, and now it's a friendly hitter's opportunity, 3-1. Trying to see if this will be it for Nolan Moore. Keeping an eye on Mike Landry here. There's the changeup, got the wave and a miss. Good offering. That pitch has worked real well for Nolan Moore against this hitter specifically.
It has, and I think they're going to let Nolan Moore ride. I mean, there's 2 outs. There's nobody warming in the pen just yet. You just want him to get out of this inning with as little damage done as you can.
I wonder when maybe you would expect to see someone else get up. But again, it is, you would hope, Moore the rest of the way to try to get this out. The 3-2 pitch, wave and a miss. Went with the changeup again. It worked last time. It does again here. Two consecutive swinging strikes, but not before YD tacks on one more, an RBI knock by Hunter Hines. Makes it 7-4. Last chance for Falmouth, chasing 3. Yep. 9-1-2, due up for Falmouth. Still taking on Leighton Finley here, trying to work a nice little 3-out save, rather a 3-inning save for Leighton Finley here. He came in after Blake Ida got hit around a little bit over his inning of work. But the 9-man not tab Tracy going to go to a pinch hitter here is Jeff Trundy. It's Tyler McGregor who's taking some cuts here in the on-deck circle, getting ready to go. He now makes his way to the home plate area, coming off the bench, trying to provide a spark. Would have to imagine Gavin Turley would be the guy to go should the Doors at least find 3 here and get us to a bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, I would think so.
Christian Martin available as well, but we've seen him in the outfield today, but with an outfielder available off the bench, seems like the right choice there should we have that opportunity. Fastball, outer third, called strike to McGregor. First chance we can talk about him today. McGregor has been the keystone at first base for Falmouth. Not in the lineup today, though. Made his debut a couple of weeks back against Orleans in a 4-3 win for the Commodores. That was at the beginning of this stretch of games of the 11 in the last 14.
It was, and today marks the halfway point of the season between the 2 sets of, like, the tale of 2 seasons that we've seen. First 15 games was really rough for the Doors. Second 15, a whole lot better.
And now kind of starting off here, trying to make this thing a little bit close. But again, in summer ball, it's certainly worked in this tale of 2 seasons. There's always tomorrow. The Doors certainly worked to that advantage during the stretch that allowed them to be the victors in 11 of the last 14 games. 2-1 from Leighton Finley out of the wind. Fastball, little up and tight to McGregor. He left it 3-1 now. Good hitter spot here to the leadoff man. John Spikerman awaits on deck. Had the 2-run shot in the 6th inning. Hasn't batted since because of the 6 up, 6 down from Leighton Finley. The offering here, McGregor jumps on this one out into left. Cruising on it is Vieira, the new left fielder. He'll make the play for the first out.
Ahead in the count. Got himself a fastball, tried to take it the other way, and just didn't get it too cleanly.
The tying run would have been Bazana if McGregor would find a way to reach. Now the situation shifts to the next man in the hole, which in this case is Kyle DeBarge. John Spikerman steps in now, and Travis Bazana awaiting on deck. Those 2 bats guaranteed to see Leighton Finley. One of them will have to find a way to get on should Kyle DeBarge be given a chance here in this ball game in the 9th.
DeBarge hit the ball hard off of Finley, too. That's the only guy that has really had solid contact against him to this point.
Finley awaits a decision here, now gets into his motion here, the 0-1 pitch. Slider, good take left at the shoelaces of John Spikerman. Makes it 1-1. Spike, a really, really good game today after a stretch of 0 for 10 over the last 2 games. He's 3 for 4. Has collected 3 runs to his credit overall, 2 runs driven in. But he's come in to score, as we mentioned, those 3 times. That one in there. Fastball away and low to Spike for a strike. It's a ball and 2 strikes here. Out there in the switch hitter role, left-handed batter's box. The pitch, good take. It was a breaking ball spiked over. If Spike had swung at that, it went all the way to the backstop with his speed. I don't think you're thinking about that in the situation of, oh, if they don't block this, but had that happened, Spikerman would certainly be at first base right now.
Yeah, he would be.
2-2 from Leighton Finley. This time it's in the dirt, swung and missed. The backstop Stafford kept it close. Slapped the tag anyways on Spikerman, and it's 2 up, 2 down. Travis Bazzana, the last chance for Falmouth here in the 9th. Spikerman walks back to the dugout after a very productive day at the top of the order with those accolades we just mentioned, and now the Aussie stands as the last chance for Falmouth here against Leighton Finley, looking for the 9-out save. The pitch here, check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. A look down there to third base, and Jeffrey Mertzel says that Bazzana did go. On the ground, a play it short. Hardy across the diamond. A hard hit ball ends this ball game. The Doors with the 2-run shot by Spikerman pulled to within 1, but 3 consecutive over the course of the rest of the game and the ball game. 7-4 the final.
Had some good swings, but at the end of the day, just couldn't find their way back into this one after giving up those runs in the bottom of the 4th and then the bottom of the 5th. Pair of runs in each for YD helped them gain that lead, and that offense just kept hitting.
The victory will go to Jackson Kent on the mound today. Really, really good stuff through 5 innings. The 2 strikeouts. He did walk 4, but only gave up 2. Meanwhile, for Falmouth, Ryan McCarroll will be given the loss after a really good debut against this same YD team last time at the Gov. And again, as we mentioned, the save goes to Leighton Finley. 2 innings of work, 3 strikeouts, no base runners, no nothing. Really, really good from him. 9 up, 9 down. That'll certainly work.
Yeah, can't do any better than that. He was outstanding and just showed why he was definitely deserving of that all-star nod.
That he was. Falmouth Commodores drop to 14-14-2. So far in 2 consecutive games of being above 500, the Doors give a loss right back. And they'll have to settle right now for still right there in that 4th place spot. A chance today, as you mentioned, with Bourne not playing, to jump over them into 3rd, but couldn't come through today.
And now the 2 teams are even in the amount of games played. They both played 30 so far, and then you get yourself set up for a few more meetings with the Braves and a lot of baseball left. There's still 14 games left in the regular season, trying to build towards that playoff spot and just keep yourself in, because Wareham also not playing today. But the Gatemen have played now 1 less game than the Doors, so they'll have 1 chance. At the moment, still a 3-game lead for Falmouth, 6-point advantage over Wareham, but we'll see what happens with the Gatemen.
By no means a perfect effort today by the Red Sox to come away victorious in this ball game. 3 mistakes out there that the Doors, again, you put up 4 runs. We're used to this offense, though, being a little bit more explosive, and today the Whitey Red Sox hauled a 3-game skid, and the team at the very top of the East Division grabs win number 16, to, by the way, Harwich Manors in 2nd place at 14-16, only 3 games back entering this game. That's a big win for YD to kind of find some separation.
It is, because they're going to have to continue to push, because Harwich is a good team. They've lost some games recently, as is YD, but those guys can play too.
That they can. We'll see Harwich in a matter of days, I believe, and tomorrow will come for you in a big game in the West Division at McKeon Park. The Commodores will go head-to-head with Hyannis. The Harbor Hawks and the Doors haven't seen each other in a matter of weeks, but that will be a really, really big game with a lot in the West Division at stake, and we'll have it for you here on the Commodores Radio Network. For everyone here that's helped done it on the social platforms and taking pictures and all that, I want to say thank you for your hard work and efforts in supporting us here at Red Wilson Field. For my broadcast partners, Destiny Sanchez, Zach Serdenik on the play-by-play, I've been Matt Venezia saying so long and good night from Red Wilson Field, and we'll see you tomorrow when the Doors take